Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune in to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
Welcome to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. It's game day. Look at that. Prime time. Detroit Lions play tonight. We're breaking it all down today. We got a packed crew with us. Lucas is a little bit of a delay. All right, he ran into some traffic. People just forget how to drive when it rains in Michigan. It's a common thing. But Lucas is pulling up for right now. We got JB holding it down in the TD booth for us for the time being. And then, of course, the GOAT filling in for JB as Lucas takes his time here. Detroit Kool-Aid, the one and only, in the audio booth. And, of course, my partner in crime here, as always, Sam with flannel. In his flannel, the red, white, and blue flannel. Nice flannel.
I appreciate that.
And then joining us for the time being as well, because we got some guests today. This is going to be a fun show. We got Uncle T. The one and only Terry
I'm here to have fun, or I'm out of here.
We're going to try. We're going to try, Uncle T.
You know what? You're looking good today. I think you could pull off Taylor Swift.
You think so? I'm good, because I'd be her number, 38? I'll be on number 38, so I'm okay.
Yeah, I take it.
I'll take it. Better than 39, if you think about it. All right? We got Broder in the studio as well.
138, I take it.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. But again, we want to cover a ton of things today. Obviously, the Damian Lillard news yesterday. We'll go through that quickly, and then, of course, the rest of the show. A lot of NFL-themed stuff, a lot of Lions, but I want to do something fun at 9:16, and I thought of this last night, and I said, we haven't really done contenders or pretenders. Ooh. So let's whip that out at 9:16, and we'll go through. I got a list of teams here, and we'll give our opinion. Are they pretenders or are they contenders? But right now, some injury updates for the Lions and Packers game tonight. It's kind of breaking because some guys are out that maybe you didn't expect to be out, or you were hopeful they would play. Dave Montgomery, Taylor Decker, not expected to suit up for the Detroit Lions tonight. They have 10 days off. So is it smart long-term? Yes. Is it ideal? No. But you know what makes it feel better as Lions fans? When you see the Packers are out, David Bakhtiari, Jenkins, Devondre Campbell. Like, they're missing some key guys too, but Decker and Montgomery, that one, it's a hit.
I mean, it was a little bit of a surprise because I thought this whole week that they were both trending to play, but at the same time, the Lions were depleted with injuries last week, and they completely choked the life out of an Atlanta Falcons team. Of course, this Green Bay Packers team is better. They're going on the road to Lambeau, but still, I think the Lions can get it done no matter who's out on the field, but it's still disappointing.
Oh, absolutely it is. And Uncle T, I want to ask you, because I haven't gotten really a chance to talk to you about tonight, and we had this conversation yesterday about Jordan Love. Does he stink?
Right.
I don't think he stinks.
He does not stink.
Okay.
And, but he's not a finished product. Green Bay is bringing along Jordan Love the way that they used to bring along quarterbacks in the National Football League. You draft a guy, send him for a couple years, he learned the system, learn his teammates, and then you throw him in there and to see how he does. Now, with you young guys, you draft him and you start him. That's a big difference. So.
Yeah, and it's usually, unless you're all-time great, even Trevor Lawrence couldn't overcome Urban Meyer his first year starting. He stunk.
Yeah,
so, you know what?
Tom Brady wouldn't have been able to overcome Urban Meyer.
Do you see the Urban Meyer to MSU? All the MSU fans that want Urban Meyer to be their next head coach?
Why not?
I said it too. That's what I want. I'm not even an MSU fan. I'm trying to help you guys. I think it's ideal. But I don't think Jordan Love stinks either. I think he's interesting. Sam, you went through his completion percentage yesterday, and it's not good. He's not the most accurate passer. But you know what's funny? Brandon Katz yesterday was kept talking about how Jordan Love doesn't throw deep, but he actually leads the NFL in air yard attempts, like how much he's actually throwing downfield. Mm-hmm. He throws the ball downfield a ton. Now, the completions we could talk about another time, but he's still attempting to air the ball out, and that's without Christian Watson. Sure. So Christian Watson's expected to play tonight. Aaron Jones expected to play tonight. Yeah, it gets a little tougher to me and FanDuel has it listed as a pick'em, and I think that's about right. To me, it's a 50-50 shot. I think Packers have slight advantage because they're at home, but it's dead even.
Yeah, a pick'em is probably about right for this game. And you mentioned Jordan Love, and yeah, he does throw the ball down the field a lot. The question is, how many times does he complete it? How many times does he overthrow his receivers? And if you judge by his completion percentage, you would probably say the majority of the time. But despite that, I would say, horrendous completion percentage. One of the worst in all of the NFL. He's still right up there when it comes to touchdown passes. He's still right up there when it comes to QBR, and he's only thrown 1 interception. So far, and we've always said this with Jordan Love, and we'll get into it more, if he takes care of the football and just kind of plays within the offense, the Packers, they've got some weapons, a couple of weapons that are going to be returning for this game, although they might not be at 100%. So Jordan Love is not someone that Lions fans can just be like, it's Jordan Love, we're just going to go in there and stomp him. Jordan Love is he's a starting quarterback.
Only Lions. I feel like
you guys have to be careful about the pass percentage, because you can get guys. Oh, he's hitting 80% of his passes. Yeah, he's throwing it 2 yards down the field.
Check downs.
But Jordan Love is at least trying to challenge defenses. Yeah, he's not the most accurate dude in the world, but when you start going a little bit deep, your percentage is going to go down.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still a young guy. He's only really his first year in the league playing.
Right.
So that's going to get better. And I think Green Bay is still trying to challenge people. So that's one reason his percentage is low. The other one is he's a little bit inaccurate, but he's still young too, learning.
Yeah, any Lions fan that is walking around like Jordan Love, it's barbecue chicken. That's a little. It seems like Lions fans at this point. Maybe not all Lions fans. I think for the most part they respect Jordan Love, and they, again, we're the Lions. We still have to earn it. You can't go out. The Green Bay has shown excellence for 20 years. Although Aaron Rodgers, a lot of moments that, disappointing moments for Aaron Rodgers, which we'll go back and forth about that. But regardless, they've had 2 back-to-back Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Can they go for 3? No, I don't think so. But Jordan Love, to Terry's point, I think he could be serviceable.
Yes.
Like someone said yesterday in the chat, I forgot who it was, but they said he could be like a Kirk Cousins eventually. Like that's kind of his maybe his ceiling. I could see that. Just a guy, middle of the pack quarterback you can win games with. But he's maybe he won't be elite, but who cares? I think they can win games with Jordan Love. I do.
Sure. And if Jordan Love becomes Kirk Cousins, honestly, I'd say Packer fans should be ecstatic, because as much hate as we want to give Kirk Cousins, he's been a good quarterback in this league for a very, very long time. He hasn't won anything of significance, but check some of the defenses that he's played with. I mean, even this year, for example, he leads the NFL in touchdown passes, and the Vikings are 0-3. Oh man, Kirk Cousins just does a terrible job at motivating his defense. Man, he's a loser. What a loser!
Well, Neil Rule would say Kirk Cousins is statistically the best quarterback in the league right now.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Don't pay him.
yeah, that's another issue.
But you know what? It's weird about Minnesota. I saw the Minnesota-Tampa game. And I thought Kirk Cousins, obviously way better than Baker Mayfield, and he had a good game. And I thought Minnesota was kicking their ass.
Yeah.
But then you look at the scoreboard. Why are you trailing? They're an oddity to me. So
if you're the Vikings, you just trade Kirk. That's how if you're gonna stink, just trade Kirk, stink, and go get a quarterback. Maybe not, Lions fans don't want to hear that, but what the hell are the Vikings doing?
Yeah, but if you're gonna get a quarterback, draft him.
Right.
And just take your lumps this year, next year, and the year after, and then try to get somebody who's going to be good down the road.
It seems like teams are willing to be mediocre, just to not say they stunk completely. But like for the Vikings, their team stinks, but they're still going to win 6-7 games. Try and win some games.
You can't be mediocre forever. It doesn't work.
No.
The Lions were mediocre forever, and it just didn't work out for them.
No, you're just stuck in this, mediocrity forever, for a long time. And so until changes are made, and the Lions kind of showed that. They went through the ringer, and now look where they are now. Like the Vikings, I hope they actually keep Kirk Cousins, to be honest, selfishly. Keep Kirk, roll out with a defense that stinks, have Justin Jefferson, everything will be okay. Mm-hmm. But if I'm not a Detroit Lions fan, I'm saying trade Kirk, get the hell out of there. All right, we'll go to break. When we come back, I do want to discuss more of the game itself, kind of break it down. What do we expect to happen? What's the path to victory for the Detroit Lions, and much more. But first, I'm going to tell you about our friends over at SMA, the sports marketing agency. Helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, this is the S Word, helps fight the stigma about seeking help. If you or someone you know is struggling, head to thesportsma.com for more information.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests, for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Join Woodward Sports and Long Drink live for every single tailgate for every single Lions home game. It's at Eastern Market in shed number 5, and it's going to be a bash. The official Lions tailgate is back and better than ever. How would you like to pregame it with Woodward Sports and be treated like a VIP? Food, beverages, and entertainment all included. Get your tickets online today at bullseyeeventgroup.com or win some from Woodward Sports today. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on IG, and direct message Lions VIP.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. You notice anything different, boys? I'm wearing black. You know what that means, right?
What does that mean?
What do you typically wear black to?
A funeral?
It's a funeral tonight, boys. I'm telling you right now. Do I have money on the line for the Lions? Yeah. Is that why I'm a little biased towards
Does it
Lions?
fit your narrative?
Yeah, it fits my narrative. That's exactly what it is. Look at my guy, Lucas, joining.
Dude,
Traffic was a bitch. I know it was.
the Lions better win tonight. That's all I'm saying. I left the house at 6:35, 6:40. Took 3 different exits. Oh, cut off, cut off, cut off, cut off. People driving like idiots, potholes everywhere. I fucking hate Ohio. But I will say that Michigan traffic is the goddamn worst thing that I've experienced in the last 6 months of my life. Just not even if there's not traffic, people just don't know how to drive.
Yeah, they
Like,
don't.
I'm gonna have to start leaving my house 2 hours early for a 25-minute drive.
And that's the funny part about this is you leave early and you're still late. Like it's nothing you could have done. Like you're fine.
My
You're good.
blood pressure's through the roof.
Yeah.
Disco's gonna be coming in clutch here after the show.
Silent Service says, Jeff, you talk too much crap. We don't know how love will turn out. Hell, I remember you talking crap about Jared for the last 2 years. Well, let me address 2 parts of that. The first part is who's been hyping up Jordan Love? Me. So I don't know where that first part came from. I've actually been the only one really here. I mean, Sam agreed with me, but I'm the only one saying, hey, I think Jordan Love is something.
Jordan Love ain't scared nobody.
And you're the one. Actually, you're the one that gave me the most pushback. In the second part, hold on. In the second part, talking crap about Jared Goff, I'm the one who ranked him number 2 in the NFC since last year. He's number 2 still. Do I not want to pay him $50 million? That's another conversation. But I've never talked crap about Jared Goff like he's some bum. I don't know. I just want to clear up the false rumors. He's been the second best quarterback in the NFC to me.
You're terrified of Jordan Love. That's what it is.
No, well, I guess it's just the part of being a Lions fan. You know what I mean? It is part of that. Well, let me just bring up this because I do want to go to the breakdown. We got our boy here from Woodward Nights, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Look at that. Matt Broder. The other half with Booner as well, and then Jalen and, of course, Nick. And you guys do a great job. But also,
thank you.
Listen, you got your hands in many different things here. You're doing Lions. You're covering the Detroit Lions.
Sticky fingers.
Hold on. Whoa. Okay, hold on.
Hey, yo.
I don't think it was that bad. There was nothing.
So you don't think that's bad? But when I say something small,
I'm saying what you said wasn't that bad.
He said I got sticky fingers.
Oh, I didn't hear him say that. Yeah, that's
okay.
foul.
All right. Regardless. All right. Move on. All right. We're good. Matt Broder. I want to ask you your reaction to some of the injury updates. Some guys that'll be out, some guys that'll be playing, and just what do you expect tonight from the Detroit Lions?
A lot of the talk this morning, apparently Tom Pelissero came out and he said Taylor Decker is not going to play tonight. David Montgomery's questionable and Emmanuel Mosley is going to play. That's all news to me.
Yeah.
And even I was just doing a little bit of research. Tim Twentyman just put out an article within the last hour and said no mention of Taylor Decker officially being out. So, of course, there's a chance. All we know, the only thing official from the Lions right now is that Taylor Decker, Kirby Joseph, David Montgomery, those guys are questionable. I do expect Taylor Decker to play. I think if anyone they're going to keep out, it might be David Montgomery. I don't expect Kirby Joseph to play. But Taylor Decker, he talked all week. He wants to be out there. He's planning to play. The final decision does come down to the coaching staff and the medical team. But as of yesterday when was I in the locker room? 4:30. Taylor Decker is questionable and expected to play.
And this is my reaction to this with Tom Pelissero, who actually I respect a lot.
Yeah.
This is one of those instances where it's like, Tom, what's your sources? And he goes, trust me, bro. That's my sources. They got that. If the injury report will come out to what? Like right before the game? Like 6,
Yeah.
7?
He's like just usually like 6:30 or something.
Yeah, like 6:30. I mean, what? I don't know.
100%. No shot on his credibility. He's a great reporter. From what I've heard in the last less than 24 hours, Taylor Decker is expected to play.
Yes, and I know you're going to talk about it more on your show tonight, but just give us a sneak preview.
No, we're not. We're not going tonight.
Oh,
we got
that's
the live
goodness.
show.
That
Okay,
is right.
bro,
You know what?
I'll let it
Put
fly.
that rain on, Flannel.
That
Let
was
it
a mea
fly.
culpa.
That's
That
gonna
was
be
a
on
mea
game
culpa.
time.
All right, so Broder, you can just let it fly.
Yeah, baby.
So no matter who's there or not, the Detroit Lions have proven that they can be kind of depleted by injuries and still win a game. I mean, I get it's the Atlanta Falcons and Desmond Ridder. It's at home, but still, it's a quality opponent who went in 2-0. So despite all of these injuries and the fact that the Packers might be getting some guys back, like Aaron Jones and Christian Watson, do you still expect that the Lions can win this game?
I do, and I think, although they sort of dropped the ball against Seattle when they were banged up, the Seattle offensive line was banged up, and the Lions really did drop an egg. They didn't really shut down that offense. I think they're going to come into this game a little more prepared, a little more ready to go. This team, the Green Bay Packers, are very similar. Their offense is very similar to the Atlanta Falcons, the way they use the run, the way they use Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, kind of like Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier. So they're prepared. Green Bay's a little more creative on offense. They run a lot more motion, a lot of more pre-snap movement to try to throw off the defense. But no, I think they're going to be ready to go. I'm more interested in what Green Bay Packers defense shows up because they're playing really well. Quay Walker, Rashawn Gary. Is Jair Alexander going to play tonight? We'll see. But I definitely think Aaron Glenn proved to me in this Atlanta Falcons game he made the right adjustments, put some of these guys like Jack Campbell and Derek Barnes in positions off the edge to be successful. So I'm hoping that defensive line energy, that linebacker energy continues.
So, and I want your opinion on this because I said this earlier this week on Monday after the game. And my thought process on the Packers and how the Lions how you prepare for the Packers, I think it'll be a similar game plan to what they did against the Falcons. Jordan Love is better than Desmond Ridder, but it's essentially they're not going to run the ball as much as the Falcons, but they want to run the ball, establish play action. Matt LaFleur, you know what tree he's from, you know what they want to do. Get Jordan Love into favorable positions so you can, play action. Jay Love maybe has a shot down the field. You got Watson back tonight. So the big part for the Lions is stopping the run. They've shown that so far. I think they're allowing half of what they allowed last year. They allowed like 100 and something yards last year. They're allowing like 60 yards this year. Your take on that, am I off on that? And the game plan should be similar to what you did against the Falcons, and your confidence in this defensive front to show up tonight against the Packers?
No, I actually think you're spot on. The more pressure they can get on Jordan Love, the more difficult they can make his night, the better it looks for the Lions leaving Lambeau. We want to see Jordan Love's jersey get a little dirty tonight. They need to get to him. They need to get that pressure and get the sacks. I'm more confident in the secondary now, too. Cam Sutton played a great game. We saw Tracy Walker and Ife Melifanu step up in a big way. We don't know if we're going to see Emmanuel Mosley tonight. He's not going to play for very long if he does suit up. So that defensive line, if they can get pressure on Jordan Love, that's where we see those turnovers come in the secondary, whether it's Brian Branch, maybe Tracy Walker going and being the ball hawks that they are. We're going to see turnovers, controlling the time of possession, and limiting your penalties are some of those key the key things that the Lions are going to need to do to come out successful.
And one thing before Lucas, because Lucas has something to say, I want to bring this up too about the whole point of getting to Jordan Love. You look at quarterbacks sacked. Jared Goff has been sacked very little this year.
Yeah.
Right behind him is Jordan Love. Hasn't really been. Now, without Bakhtiari and Jenkins, that could change, but pretty good offense line over there in Green Bay.
Look, I understand that Jordan Love, you're terrified of him. But I'm
not terrified of him.
But to Broder's point, This Green Bay Packers team is built very similar to the Atlanta Falcons team as far as what they do. No Devondre Campbell, no David Bakhtiari, no Eldon Jenkins, so the two best linemen are down. At least we have Jonah Jackson, Frank Ragnow, Penei Sewell. There's not going to be a guy that can cover Jahmyr Gibbs in their safety or linebacker room, and not to mention these guys lost to the Atlanta Falcons, who we just beat. And what did they do? To Broder's point, they got in Jordan Love's face. So if they can get in Jordan Love's face, it's going to be a clean game. This is a game that if the Lions played their A game, how they did against the Atlanta Falcons, it could be a 10-point game. It really could, because who have the Packers beat?
The Bears.
Bears.
They beat the Bears.
In a 17-point comeback, but they won by 1 against the Saints.
And let's be completely honest. If Derek Carr finishes that game,
They lose.
they lose.
Yep.
You can say whatever you want. You can still give credit to how Jordan Love played in that fourth quarter. But that's a 1-2 team. That loss to the Atlanta Falcons, the Detroit Lions, I think this will be the reality check where it's like, okay, all this Jordan Love talk where it's like, oh, he's the next Aaron Rodgers. He's the next
that's
Bud
ridiculous.
Starr.
That's
he's the
ridiculous.
Next Brett. Like, this is the game where if they just play their A game, they go in there, they play fundamental football, they play clean football, they apply pressure, and most importantly, they do not let Kenny Clark. I know everybody talks about Rashawn Gary because he got 3 sacks, and Rashawn Gary is a very good edge rusher, but the guy who will ruin the game for the Packers is Kenny Clark. If they can neutralize Kenny Clark and just play clean football, I think this is at least a 10-point win for the Lions.
Yeah, and listen, I would not be shocked if that's the case. I guess my question to Broder too, and I was doing some research yesterday. I was on my Sam Flannel. I was jumping out looking at the stats, and some things did stand out to me. The Packers.
Yes.
You know what they allow on 4th down conversions? A 70% conversion rate.
Oh,
Does this sound like a Dan Campbell go for it game, or is this one of those games? Because in my opinion, this is going to be a lower score. I can see a 23-16, 24-17 win. In my opinion, this is going to be one of those games, divisional games. You got to take the points. But can you see Dan being a little aggressive tonight?
well, that stat just proves it's
There's no way he
made for
doesn't
Dan
know that.
Campbell.
He has to know that.
He has to. No, I do think Dan Campbell and his game plan and his game management, clock management, time management is very, very important. I was so impressed with the maturity of most of his calls last week. Just being able to flip the field, using Jack Fox, using your special teams, which although Jason Kabinda is out, fullback Jason Kabinda, which is a significant loss to the special teams.
Look at Sam. He's like, bro, Kabinda.
I know. I gotta throw in my special teams guys and the non-star players that don't get all the love. The Jalen Reeves-Maben. Those players are impactful, and that's part of why this team is. Germ's incredible.
Yeah, he is.
We thought losing C.J. Moore last year. What?
On special teams, Jalen Reeves-Maben is incredible.
He's literally the captain. on
Okay,
special
Yes.
teams, ain't he?
that's fine, but you mentioned Jason Kabinda and Jalen Reeves-Maben and just being like, oh my God, just such important, vital, pivotal pieces.
Didn't say
and then
that.
Jason Kabinda being out. How do you look on that carry that he got in the game?
No one's talking about that, Flannel.
He should
We're
never
talking
carry-
about special teams, and we
Yep.
all agree
Okay,
he should not have got that carry.
He should never carry a football the as long as he shall live. That's fair.
And look at this question. Andrew says Jeff said Decker is not playing. Well, Tom Pelissero said that.
Yeah.
And we're going to wait and see if that's confirmed. Because, like Broder said, and I saw the reports coming directly from the Lions. They're both questionable, and Taylor wants to play. So I don't. That's not confirmed yet. Tom tweeted it out, and he's pretty reputable. But let's wait and see. And maybe that's part of me being a Lions fan. I don't want him to not. I want him to play.
Yeah.
And I think he will be playing. Sam, you got anything for Broder?
Okay, so for Matt Broder, so you mentioned Emmanuel Mosley because I see conflicting reports. Like he's playing, Broder. You kind of seem to think that he could play, but not for like not a lot of snaps. So how big of a difference can he make in this game, given the fact that Christian Watson is back? He hasn't played at all for the Packers this year. Is it kind of a wash, or is Emmanuel Mosley going to be limited?
My opinion. This is just my opinion. I don't think he'll have any impact on this game.
Okay.
I don't
Wow.
know. I would almost assume that we don't see him. I think he's one of those guys that the Lions take the extra 10 days to just really get him back to 100% from his torn ACL. It's a bummer. This was the game. The reason you didn't put him on the PUP, the PUP list, was you thought he was going to play in the first 4 games. If you put him on that list, he's got to sit out the first 4. So I thought he was going to be playing last week, but he's had a few setbacks, and although Dan Campbell mentioned he is progressing along now, on the right track, they're going to just start inching him into these games. They want him to get into game shape. He was talking about getting him in practice, in full-speed practice reps, getting him just series by series, limiting him. So without their ability to practice this week, because it's a short week, only 4 days in between games, he doesn't get to run with the starters. So that factors into probably keeping him out of this game. But there is a chance we see him for a series. I think they let him run for a series and then pull him out. We'll see.
John Macro in the doc, the legend in the chat, is always supporting the show. He says, I was told, Broder, Emmanuel Mosley really hates Broder now. From Broder, you heard it here first. 0 impact. Not even an ounce of impact tonight. No, I'm just kidding. I appreciate you for joining us, Broder. We're doing the pregame show later. You're more than welcome to stop by, hop in, man, and we'll chop it up. So, again, Matt Broder, you can find him Woodward nights, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. With Booner, of course, Jalen, Nick. Those guys do a great job. Check them out. They won't be on tonight, but tomorrow they'll be here to recap the game in its totality. Appreciate you, Broder, for joining us. Let's go to break. When we get back, we'll get more into Lions, Packers, and I want to bring up Aiden Hutchinson because he just won NFC Defensive Player of the Week. And we got to hey, he's that guy, pal. But first, I got to tell you about Randy Wise because our friends over at Randy Wise, what could be better than watching celebrities like Braylon or DMAC play golf? Playing golf yourself and being treated like a celebrity. Stop into any Randy Wise dealership for your chance to play golf like a celebrity. VIP transportation, free golf, and much more. And a tasty steak complements a fairway package. Make the wise decision and get to Randy Wise today for your chance to win. We'll be right back after the commercials.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. So register today at OutdoorEquipCo.com, and even you could have DMAC on your landscaping crew.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
How would you like to win a 100K Vegas getaway? Take your friends and live it up in a city that never sleeps. It's the Centron Energy Drink It and Live It sweepstakes. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter for your chance to win the 100K Vegas getaway at drinkcentron.com/Vegas and buy Centron at your local Meijer store. Centron, the healthy energy drink with great taste and a choice of people who desire to look good, feel great, and be the best versions of themselves. drinkcentron.com/Vegas.
We're back. It's the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. The people just heard your whole you and Broder talking ish to each other. It's all in fun and games.
No, it's not.
I'm pretty sure they did hear it through the mic, but you know what?
I'm fine with it.
But that's what we do around here, all right? We just challenge each other.
You just keep it real.
You didn't earn
just
that
test
nap
it.
yet. It's 8:35. What are you doing taking a nap at 8:35? Step your game up, Broder.
I love it. Let's get to Aiden Hutchinson, man. NFC Defensive Player of the Week. And I'll go through some of the other award winners because the Offensive Player of the Week in the NFC, Kenneth Walker. And then, of course, Defensive Player of the Week in the NFC, Aiden Hutchinson. And then Special Teams Player of the Week, Matt Prater.
Ooh. Shout out.
That's Matt Prater. The GOAT, yeah. AFC Offensive Player of the Week. I think that's a no-brainer. Devin Achan. That's not even
100%.
Just picked him up in fantasy, by the way. AFC Defensive Player of the Week, Terrell Bernard, who took over for Edmonds in Buffalo. He won Defensive Player of the Week in the AFC. And then Special Teams Player of the Week in the AFC is Matt Gay, who I actually have on my fantasy team as well, who kicked a crap ton of field goals last week. But just to talk about Aiden for a second here, because that's big time, man. And I know someone brought up over Brian Branch. And isn't that crazy, too, that even as a rookie, like he put up numbers that probably should have been in consideration as a rookie. So trust me, like I hear you there. But Aiden completely wrecked last week. He closed the game by himself.
Yes.
Sack, fumble, and recovered the ball and said, game over, see you later.
Yes.
Like, Aiden Hutchinson, man, and I expect another big game. He shows up when the lights are brightest, and that's a lot of these players, too. Amon-Ra St. Brown does as well. Kirby does. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is, he's his father. So on prime time, Kirby's there, and he's ready to show out. He might not play tonight, but Aiden Hutchinson, NFC Defensive Player of the Week, Sam Flannel, your reaction and how much you need out of Aiden tonight, because I expect another big game out of him.
You know what? I am ecstatic with this news because we all know how high I am on Aiden Hutchinson. I called for 15 sacks this season.
You did.
Through the first 2 games, it wasn't looking so good. Aiden obviously played very, very well against Kansas City. Not as great against Seattle, but he didn't have any sacks. And through 3 quarters of the game against Atlanta, he didn't have any either. But in the 4th quarter, when it mattered most, like you said, Aiden Hutchinson basically closed the game down. He got a sack, and then he got a sack fumble, which he recovered. Absolutely
ridiculous.
Unbelievable. And think about this in the NFC. This is very, very impressive to me because think of how many great defensive players there are that could be winning Defensive Players of the Week. You got Nick Bosa, you got Micah Parsons, you've got Hassan Reddick, you've got guys like Brian Burns even, or Rashawn Gary, or Daniil Hunter, who's having a hell of a year, Fred Warner, guys like that, some of the best defensive players in the league, guys who have won Defensive Players of the Year like Nick Bosa, but in this week it was Aiden Hutchinson who really stood out. And I kind of think when we talk about MVPs of the game, a lot of people point to Brian Branch as the obvious one. And Brian Branch might have been my first choice as well, but Aiden Hutchinson did just as much in this game to impact winning because not only did he have those 2 sacks, that forced fumble, that fumble recovery, he was one of the guys creating a lot of the pressures that allowed guys on the inside and guys like even Derek Barnes or Jack Campbell to get sacks. He also had 6 pressures in that game. So 100% Aiden Hutchinson earned this honor, and you know what else? Now he's winning NFC Defensive Players of the Week. Pretty soon, I'm not saying this year, but maybe in years to come, he could be winning NFL Defensive Player of the Years. Maybe 1, maybe 2.
Yeah.
I'm calling for 1. I know that's a little bit preemptive, but still, winning an NFC Defensive Player of the Week is not something you can just scoff at. As far as tonight, I expect another huge game out of him. I expect at least a sack. I expect him to create constant pressures on Jordan Love because David Bakhtiari's out. David Bakhtiari is not what he once was. He's been plagued by injuries.
Very much true.
No, it is very much true, but I'm sure the Packers would love to have him out there because he might be matched up with Aiden Hutchinson from time to time, but it's not going to be a problem. And this is a guy that just a few years ago was first-team All-Pro. And then you mentioned Elton Jenkins, who I'm not sure will be matched up direct. He wouldn't have been matched up directly with Aiden.
But they're 2 of their best
he was a
offensive
Pro Bowl.
linemen.
He was a Pro
Talk
Bowl
about when they
last
put
year.
Hutch on the inside.
Yeah.
Because they do that. That's when he'd be up on Elton Jenkins. And the fact that he's out, he's their best run blocker for them. So he's going to be able to make more plays in the run game as well, especially when it comes to setting the edge and turning everything inside.
And one thing you can mention about, I know this quote by Jalen Hurts saying, I get, getting freaky in the open field. Aiden Hutchinson, he's constantly getting freaky at the line of scrimmage. Like, this guy is completely
stanky.
He's doing the stanky leg, you know what I mean? He did it a couple times. And we watched Aiden Hutchinson on prime time last year to end the season, knocking the Packers out of the playoffs. You didn't make it either, but of course you did everything you could at the end. You won the game you're supposed to win on prime time in Lambeau. And Aiden had a great game that game as well. Had a sack, almost forced a fumble on Aaron. But again, Aaron, he's a veteran. He tucked the ball. We'll see with Jordan Love.
Ooh,
like, it's a little different. Like Aaron has those little tendencies. You know what I mean, Lucas? Like, Aaron knows. Aiden's coming at it. He's in his face. He tucks the ball. There could be an instance tonight where he gets a strip fumble again.
There could be a lot of instances. If the Detroit Lions put pressure on Jordan Love, who was 7 of 16 in the middle of the 3rd quarter last week, this is going to be a win. I understand not to underestimate Jordan Love like he's Desmond Ridder. I'm not doing that. But there's people talking like Jordan Love is the franchise guy for sure. For sure, like without a doubt. After 3 weeks, when he played the Chicago Bears, the Saints defense is okay, but they didn't put up a good offensive performance, I'm sorry. And he did throw a pick in there as well and should have thrown 2. And against Atlanta, he did not look good at all. So, let's see. But my confidence, I'm feeling good about it, especially with no Bakhtiari, no Eldon Jenkins. I think this Detroit Lions pass rush is going to get there. John Kaminsky, I think this is the game where he can kind of step up too, especially with Big Bugs back. We saw what they did in Lambeau last year on prime time.
Yep.
So I'm confident, man.
I'm confident. I am. This defensive line, and I did say, it's funny because there's a clip on Woodward, I actually laughed. It was a clip about Amon-Ra St. Brown, and someone commented, isn't this the guy that doubted the defensive line after 2 weeks? And like, well, no. Well, yes, but the other, no. I mean, Aiden Hutchinson I never doubted. The others I did for a secend there. Like, okay, we have a 2-game sample size. Now we have a 3-game. But I expect, I do. If I want to be optimistic here, and I'm trying not to be pessimistic. One thing that's been consistent with this team, Lucas, and I'll go to JB on this too, they've been doing a good job against the run. Like that, I can't talk about. They've been solid against the run. Now creating a pass rush, 7 sacks last week, JB. Now I'm not saying they get 7 sacks again, but I think other guys are going to step up. I have confidence that Aleem, maybe the confidence booster they had last week, can carry over to this Thursday. I do.
Yeah, 7 sacks is pushing it a little too much, but I give credit to Aaron Glenn. I think he wants to step up and sit here and have these players be challenged to say, hey, you got 6 last week, let's see what you can do this week. And he's challenging all of them to step up and do better, especially Aiden as well, too. And as you said, this pass defense, it does mean a lot. But I did hear that Aaron Jones will be playing tonight, but I don't expect that to be a huge worry as well, too. So I got to give credit to Aaron Glenn and his defense right now. So I'm predicting at least 3. I think 3 is fair.
Yeah.
But if you're going with like 7, I would temper my expectations.
What about this with Cornelius T? I'm back. Is Jeff still D-riding Green Bay?
Yes, he's still terrified.
Still?
He's still terrified of Jordan
Sam.
Love as we speak. He's still terrified of him.
D-riding Green Bay. What?
Okay.
Is that fair? Is that fair, Sam? I'll let you answer that.
Okay, so basically, and I know what Lions fans are doing right now, and it's the one thing that kind of just, it aggravates me a little bit, and I'm not going to lie, where it's just like, it's the Green Bay Packers, and it's a team that the Lions beat twice last year, swept them, and now they have Jordan Love instead of Aaron Rodgers, and now all of a sudden, there are some fans that are talking like going into Lambeau Field when you have the exact same record for the division lead on Thursday Night Football. If you don't think the Lions are just going to go in there and wax them, you're a hater. If you don't think they're going to pick off Jordan Love 3 times and sack him 5 times, you're a hater. You're D-riding the Green Bay Packers. The reality is the Packers. Can we all agree in this room that even though Devondre Campbell's out, even though Elton Jenkins and David Bakhtiari are out, and especially if Aaron Jones and Christian Watson return, that the Packers have a lot of talented pieces, a lot, both offensively and defensively. And Jordan Love this season, although he's definitely not as good as like the 7-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio, I think that's a bit of a fugazi.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's solid, and if he can play within the offense and just feed the ball to his weapons, and the defense can do an okay job against the Lions, this is a game the Lions could lose.
It's about forcing them to get out of rhythm. Like they did it to the Falcons last week. That's why me and Luke, we agree there. It's a similar game plan. Like the Falcons could never get in rhythm. Like they couldn't run the ball, and then Ritter had to drop back and throw. What he throw over 30 times?
Yeah.
And like that's how you beat.
What you do.
That's what you do. They made Jordan Love throw 40 times against the Saints. I mean, they came back and won, but it's not ideal. And by the way, Cornelius says he says it's all love. By the way, it's all love, no pun intended. Cornelius, appreciate you. He's been here for a while, so shout out to him. But that's fair, isn't it?
I mean, look, I'm just
say it. Is Desmond Ritter better than Jordan Love?
No,
okay,
no,
we're good.
I'm not saying that.
Then we agree.
Let's be fucking honest for a second.
Let's do it.
Christian Watson's coming back. Do you think they're really going to utilize him with the
no,
full? No.
I think he'll be on a snap count.
No. So Aaron Jones, he's going to be playing hurt as well. So they're going to be relying on A.J. Dillon to carry that run game.
Ooh.
A rookie and Jaden Reed, who in my opinion, he hasn't showed it yet because Romeo Doubs has been balling out, but Jaden Reed's, in my opinion, the best skill set wide receiver.
I agree.
So he's probably going to have Brian Branch on him. And then on the outside, you'll have Dobbs with Cam Sutton on him. Cam Sutton's been doing a hell of a job. After that, they got Luke Musgrave. He's not scaring me, I'm sorry, especially when you got at any given time Brian Branch or Tracy Walker on him. This defense or this offensive line, they are losing their 2 most vital pieces in the pass and the run game. So I understand that they're getting weapons back. But it's just one of those things where they could easily lose this game. But as Lions fans, after last week, after you saw them bounce back against a poor performance against Seattle, you should have full confidence in this team to go out there and win it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, I think it's a part of.
They've beaten the Packers the last 5 times.
I was just gonna say that. I think it's like it's ingrained in their memory to not fear the Packers, but have this like, okay, you know, be a little hesitant to be confident. Like last week, everyone knew they were gonna beat the Falcons. Like we all knew it. But the Packers, for some reason, it's a little like, okay,
like there's always,
you're on the road. It's a little different. But I'm with you. This is a new era in Detroit Lions football. You've taken care of the Packers.
It's
under
a new
Dan
era
Campbell's
in Green
regime.
Bay too, and
Yes.
not to mention,
Yeah.
there's just teams that like certain teams have a team's number. Like you saw last week, the Texans do with Jacksonville.
Right.
They always like no matter how like it's just they have their number, and I think right now the Lions have Green Bay's number. I think the Packers right now have more pressure on them for the fact that both teams are 2-1. I think people are kind of overrating the Packers, and I think they deep down know that. I don't trust Matt LaFleur on a consistent level. I think he's a good offensive mind, but as far as getting that team disciplined in crucial moments, as far as penalties, I don't trust him there. I don't think he's a consistent coach there. I think the Lions have an advantage in most situations here, and they have the least pressure on them.
In this one, too, Eustace says last week people were scared of Bijan, and rightfully so. But they did a good job against him. And
Yeah.
the thing that's going for the Lions, and to your point, and I brought this up yesterday, Jordan Love leads the Packers in yards per carry. A.J. Dillon is averaging like 2.5 yards per carry. So I'm no one scared of A.J. Dillon. No. Nobody. JB could tackle him in the open field. I believe that. Maybe his quads are, you know. I believe in JB though. I will stick by that.
I still got him.
Aaron Jones though, you know, week 1 when they beat the Bears, he had some big plays there. But to your
the
point,
receiving game, there were
yes,
screen
in the
passes
receiving game,
and a slant route.
but as well though, he's coming off that hamstring injury, so
he's not going to be as explosive.
you know, a lot of things going in favor of the Detroit Lions. Let's head to break here. When we come back, I do want to talk more about this defensive line and just kind of have a conversation here. Your confidence level. You saw last week, Benito Jones, Aleem McNeil, hell, even Derek Barnes and Jack Campbell utilizing some of the linebackers. Can this defensive line, and linebackers included, you throw Brian Branch in there, stop the run, get after Jordan Love? AG, I think, has been proven doubters wrong, and we'll have a conversation about that defense coming up in a couple of minutes here. But first, I got to tell you about Planet Fitness as well, because Planet Fitness, guys, it's the home of the judgment-free zone where anybody, and I mean anybody, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full-body workout in just 30 minutes in the 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness or www.planetfitness.com for more information.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. Come hang with the Woodward Sports crew all throughout football season on Saturdays and Sundays. Join our college football and Detroit Lions live watch parties.
Inside the 5, caught, end zone, touchdown Detroit Lions!
With money on the line. Featuring different special guests and surprises. Start times will vary depending on the game. Only on our Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
Academy of Warren, brand new state-of-the-art sports dome field house, has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and soccer field. Can be used for 7-on-7 football as well. Listen, you sign your child up today, tons of features they benefit from, including free breakfast and lunch, futuristic media center, small classroom sizes, and much more. Listen, they're accepting new enrollment. All you got to do is go to academyofwarren.net. More Lions in Green Bay talk. They play tonight, Thursday night football, prime time. The 2 times the Lions play the Green Bay Packers are on Thursday. One's at Thanksgiving. They travel to Detroit, travel to Ford Field, and then, of course, tonight, the Lions travel to Lambeau Field. So you're going to see him again on Thanksgiving. So that'll be interesting. This is a big one. You're on the road at Lambeau. Both teams are 2-1. We're going to have a discussion here about the defensive line because you saw a lot last week, a whole lot. 7 sacks. They blew up a ton of plays. They stopped the run, arguably the best backfield in the NFL. So they were tested, and they came and showed up. The difference now is you're on the road. And they showed it last week, and I brought this up about Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is returning? Sweet. Let's go back to the last 4 games with Aaron Jones. Last year, in both times, or last year in the game he played 1 game. 12 carries for 48 yards against the Lions. Okay, all right, 4.4 yards per carry. Yeah, it's not bad. Then you have the previous game, the previous year, 9 carries for 25 yards. And then you go back, 17 carries for 76 yards. It's been around 3.5 yards per carry average. Through his entire career with the Lions, it's 4.8 because he had some big games in there. But as of recently, the Lions have done a great job with Aaron Jones. He hasn't let
Sniffing it out?
Yeah, Aaron Jones has not popped for one of these big games against the Lions in quite some time. Actually, since 2020, at $168 on 18 carries. But it's been quite some time. The last 4 matchups, he has not cleared over 70 yards rushing. So for Aaron Jones in this run game, I have confidence. A.J. Dillon, nobody's scared of A.J. Dillon. I'll keep saying that. Nobody is scared of A.J. Dillon. So for Aaron Jones' sake, the Lions have done a good job. The defensive line, I'm confident they can stop the run this week, and that's the path to victory. That's the big one there. If you can stop the run, not allow Jordan Love and the Packers offense to get into play-action sets, get him in comfortable positions, allow him to just, like you said, Sam Flannel, just run the offense, stress-free, get the ball out quickly. They're going to try and get the ball out quickly. No left tackle, no left guard. So a lot of matchups kind of favoring the Detroit Lions. But the question I had for everybody and the people in the chat is, you confident this defensive line can kind of repeat not exactly what they did last week, but to some extent? Essentially, eliminate the run or slow the run down and get after Jordan Love.
All right, so I am 1,000,000,000,000,000% confident that the Lions defense will be able to stop the Packers rushing attack. And I think that is one of the keys to the game for the Lions to ultimately come out with a victory, because the Detroit Lions, and now this is a 3-game sample size, so I'm more and more convinced that they're actually legit and they're actually just have a good run defense, are now 5th in the NFL in rushing yards allowed per game. They're only allowing 72 rushing yards per game. And think about this, guys. And this to me is what makes it so fascinating and it's been really a pleasure to watch this year so far. So Isaiah Pacheco, do we think he's pretty good?
Especially the line he's behind.
Absolutely. Do we think he's a guy that could have 1,000 yards rushing this year?
Yeah.
What did he do?
Maybe not 1,000, but close to it at least.
Well, he's right about on that pace right now. What did he do against the Lions? Absolutely nothing.
Get outrushed by Pat Mahomes?
Absolutely. He had his worst game of the season by far. What about Kenneth Walker? Do we think he's pretty good?
Damn good.
He just won the NFC Player of the Week.
Absolutely.
Offensive.
Absolutely. Could he have won Offensive Rookie of the Year last year? He had over 1,000 yards rushing as a rookie.
And not even in a full season.
Not even in a full season. What did he do against the Lions? He had a couple of goal line touchdowns.
He was a goal line merchant. He had like 45 rushing yards, I think.
17 carries for 43 yards for about 2.5 yards per carry. His worst game of the season by far.
Yep.
And what about Bijan Robinson, who is already emerging as one of the best running backs in the NFL, in my opinion? Had just come off of an excellent game against the Packers, who the Lions are now playing, in which he had over 180 yards from scrimmage. What did he do against the Lions? Nothing. 10 carries for 33 yards, his worst game of the season by far. And now the Lions are facing the Green Bay Packers, who are without probably their 2 best offensive linemen.
That's definitely their 2 best offensive linemen.
Fair enough. I'm just kind of taking into account Bakhtiari isn't who he once was, but Elton Jenkins absolutely for sure. And any version of Bakhtiari is still somebody who you should be concerned with. So the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Jones, he's coming back after missing a couple of games. Yep. He's definitely their best skill position player, and he's a guy that if he's in there, the Lions, I would say, could be worried about, but he's not going to be at full strength. And if the Lions can shut down Bijan Robinson, Kenneth Walker, and Isaiah Pacheco, I certainly am confident that they can shut down an Aaron Jones who's playing behind an offensive line that is depleted right now. And of course, I am not even remotely scared of A.J. Dillon. A.J. Dillon blows. He's just a bad NFL player.
I'll be scared of A.J. Dillon the second he grows hair. That ain't happening.
You know what A.J. Dillon has?
Damn.
A.J. Dillon has quads for show because he ain't using them right now because he is averaging a pathetic 2.7 yards per carry. And if A.J. Dillon has to even shoulder, I don't know, half of the workload because Aaron Jones isn't 100%, I think it's going to be barbecue chicken for the Lions run defense.
I'm just about to say that.
Absolutely.
Barbecue chicken. Barbecue chicken alert.
And think about this because this goes with the rush defense with the Lions versus the rush offense of the Packers. Something that I did a little research on and discovered before I actually came onto the show today. So the starting linebacker, offensive lineman for the Packers who are playing: center Josh Myers, guard John Runyon, and tackle Zach Tom, who is actually questionable.
Yeah,
by
he
the
might
way.
not even play.
He might not even play, and he's probably one of their best offensive linemen as well. Definitely better than Myers and Runyon. Every single one of them. This is the complete inverse of the Atlanta Falcons, are much better pass blockers than run blockers. Zach Tom is pretty good, but Josh Myers and John Runyon I don't respect at all. So it is prime for the picking for the Lions defense to continue their defensive dominance against the run. And when it comes to Jordan Love, if the Packers can't get a run game going, and especially if the Lions offense can get them a lead, Jordan Love is going to be asked to drop back maybe 30, 35, 40 times and throw the football and try to win the game for the Packers, and I have zero confidence that he will be able to do that without a run game. And the Lions pass rush, I'll tell you what, I'm not calling for 7 sacks or anything like that, but they proved last week that they have some guys. Aiden Hutchinson's a star. Charles Harris emerged. Benito Jones got a sack. Aleem McNeil, Jack Campbell, Derek Barnes. They showed something last week. So yes, this defensive line, especially against the run, but even against the pass, I am 100% confident that they will be able to inflict pain on the Green Bay Packers.
And what'd you say A.J. Dillon's yards per carry were?
2.7.
Dan Wood, read those stats to me, Daddy. What? Dan Wood said it. He said, read those stats to me, Daddy.
I'm sure Dan Wood said it.
I'm just reading the comment. He said, read those stats to me, Daddy. I didn't say it. I'm just reading comments. It's my job.
Make sure we clip that up.
What? What? Don't get me. Dan Wood said it.
He knows. JB's the sniper. He already knows.
Bro, I don't even blame Dan Wood for that one. I can't even blame him. A.J. Dillon's terrible.
Dan Wood said, he's my daddy. Okay, relax. All right? All right, hold on, Dan Wood. All right. We got to move on.
At least that's a boost in Flannel's confidence for the day.
Yeah, okay. Hey, whatever you need. Whatever you need, Sam. Whatever you need. Let's see here, because I saw some more comments coming in, too. Fletch Lives Daily says, stop the run, win the game. And Sam Salty says, imagine reading stats instead of actually watching football.
No, Sam, back off Flannel.
No, I'll say Flannel doesn't. So Flannel, you don't watch any football, I guess. Zero.
Who said that?
You don't indulge in any football.
Who said that? So, I mean, I don't care who said that. So even when I say things that you like, that you can see when you watch the games, and you can see on the results on the stat sheet, when you can see that they shut down Bijan Robinson, Kenneth Walker, and Isaiah Pacheco, you're still like, oh, he doesn't know football. So the Lions run defense has actually not been good. Is that what you're saying?
It's been great.
They have shut down some of the better running backs in the NFL right now. Guys who are probably going to have 1,200, 1,300, 1,400 yard seasons when it's all said and done. And you're trying to tell me that they can't do that to A.J. Dillon and a not 100% Aaron Jones behind an offensive line that's depleted? I'm not saying that's what you're saying, but you're basically taken into like questioning my credibility when it comes to this. And you shouldn't be doing that. I'm saying stuff you should be happy about. You should be happy that I'm saying this.
That's a flannel guarantee.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It's the flannel guarantee. Wilson Singleton, defense is playing lights out. You leave that going for fourth down stuff on the sidelines. Defense will get us the ball back. I really do. I hope Dan trusts his defense this game, dude. I really do. I get going for it when the time when it's worthy. Like if there's a situation where it's 4th and goal and you know, listen, we can't just kick field goals. If that's the type of game it's going to be, I get going for it. But like, come on your own 30-yard line, Dan, just please, just kick, just punt the ball, just punt it. You had Jack Fox, man. You got a defense that's playing great. Please, just punt the ball. All right, thank you. Let's see some of these comments here. Amen. Because I really do believe that, and I think it'll be that type of game today. I do. I think it'll be a game where it's divisional games, kind of like last year, how that game turned out. It took DJ Chark to close that game out.
Fuck you.
I'm just stating facts. He caught.
You're right.
Is that fair? He caught the ball.
That's fair.
Okay. All right. Let's go to break here. When we get back, I love you, Lucas. When we get back, we'll talk about the pressure the Lions have to win this football game. Who needs to show up offensively and defensively? We'll each give our player when we come back. But first, I got to hear about our friends from Swiss Insurance.
Absolutely. Do you have football on the brain? Fall ushers in college and professional football, and this year is going to be awesome. Fall is also a perfect time to shop your home and auto insurance. Shop it like a pro with Swiss Insurance. They cover Woodward Sports Network, and they should be covering you too. Ask for Mark at Swiss Insurance today at swissins.com or call 248-800-4177. Again, that is 248-800-4177. Swiss Insurance.
Again.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
All right, Jeffrey.
Glorious! There you go. Glorious Cannabis. Let me tell you about them. Just in time for football, man. You're going to be watching football tonight, man. Why not smoke some Glorious Cannabis? Honolulu Blue Strain. Imagine watching that while Jordan Love's just running for his life. You're going to have a blast, man. Check it out. Glorious Cannabis. You can find them at Dispo, 25% off, or online at www.gloriouscanna.com. I freaking love that drop. We're back. It's the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you guys for joining the show on game day. It's one of our favorite times of the year, game day, and tomorrow it's the post-game show there. So both shows, it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be here at the studio tomorrow as well. So please come join us, and we'll talk all about the result tonight. We also have the pregame show tonight, 6:30, I believe it is, the pregame show. So me, Lucas, Booner, Mike, and a bunch of special guests will be joining me as well to kind of break down the game. So come back at 6:30. We're kind of cutting into heavyweights. I feel bad, but yeah, it's game day.
It's for the cause.
They're real ones for that. Shout out to those guys and Woodward Knights because their show kind of gets cut too. But regardless, let's get into this matchup here. And I want to ask the question. The pressure that's on the Lions to win this football game, both teams 2-1. This isn't the end-all be-all. I don't want to treat this like it's the last game of the year for the division, like it's week 4. But it's still an important game, especially you have Thanksgiving, and you do not want to be in a situation where you have to win at home on Thanksgiving to not be swept. I'd rather you have the game advantage here. You much rather win this one on the road. The other question I have is who needs to step up offensively and defensively. But I'll ask the first question, Sam Flannel, the pressure that's on the Lions to win this one tonight.
All right, so this is a tough one because I don't want to put all eggs into one basket in this game. If the Lions lose this game, which I'll get to my prediction later, it's not the end of the season. The Lions still have a lot of time to make it up with a couple of winnable games at home against Carolina and at Tampa Bay staring at them down the barrel. But I will say this, though. If the Lions win this game, if the Lions actually go into Lambeau Field and win this game and then take over the division and take the tiebreaker in which the other matchup between the Lions and the Packers is at Ford Field, then I am feeling pretty damn good about the Lions winning this division. If the Lions win this game, they are in full 100% control, and I'm feeling extremely confident in their chances. And I think, especially considering that the Chicago Bears, they're done. The Minnesota Vikings are done. It is just a two-horse race right now. And guys, Are you confident down the road that no matter what happens tonight, that the Lions can beat the Packers at Ford Field later on in the season?
Yes, especially how they looked against the Bills on Thanksgiving last year.
1,000%, and I would agree with you on that. So if you can strike the first blow at Lambeau Field on primetime on Thursday Night Football, you're pretty much sitting pretty. I'm not going to go as far as to say if the Lions win this game tonight, I'm guaranteeing the division, but they have a damn good shot, and we should be feeling really great about ourselves. But if they do lose, season's not over, but they could really, really strike a blow if they win this game.
Yeah, it's a confidence booster. It's early in the season. I'm not going to say this is a must-win. I hate that stuff, man. Unless it's like to win the division or a playoff game or whatever. There's certain situations you pull out the must-win. This is not a must-win, but it's a big game, a divisional game. You maybe could argue it's close to a must-win because, again, not that this changes the entire season. They could lose this game, still win games, and then beat Green Bay at the end of the year and still win their division. But you're also giving a game lead to the Packers there. A little bit of breathing room, and they still have the tiebreaker up until you guys play again. And maybe you guys can handle that the way you handle it. But you'd much rather just sweep the Packers. The only team I see competing in the NFC North are the Packers, besides the Lions. If you sweep this team, you're guaranteed, at least as long as you keep winning games, and win more than you lose, you'll win that division. But once you lose this one, it does put more pressure on the Lions. So I think ideally you want to win tonight. You want to win your divisional games. Winning your division is one of the more important goals this season for the Lions. I say playoff win or it's a failure to me. At least for this season, we expect a playoff appearance. I expect a playoff win because you win your division, you host a playoff game, you'll be favored in that playoff game. It's like a very simple math for me. So I expect a playoff win, but it does start here, winning your divisional game. So is there pressure, a ton of pressure if they lose, everything's over? No, it's not. But it is a big game, Lucas, and it's ideal to get these wins early in the division.
This isn't a must win. This is a must dominate. Must set the tone. Must set the tone. I know Booner's been saying he wants that phrase coined for himself, but no. Set the fucking tone. Go into Lambeau. Go 3-1, because you know who you got after that? Let's take a gander. You're home against the Carolina Panthers. Would assume win. Then you're going on the road to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So if you go through this quick, 2.5 weeks, pick up 3 wins, take it back last week, you pick up 4 wins in 3 weeks, you're setting yourself up for success. And now that you get a division win at Lambeau, which is going to be the toughest place to play all year, you can just strike all the life out of the Packers, and you let the NFL know. All the naysayers, all the Rob Parkers, all the world, everybody that counted this team out, we're back in it. We're back in it. I think Lions fans believe that, but this is a stage on primetime where you go in there and you dominate the Packers. The whole NFL is officially on watch, I think, for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, no, 100%. And just to reiterate, because Brandon Katz, you got to reiterate things for him specifically. I just said it's not a must-win, but it's a big game for the Detroit Lions. Sorry, just certain audience members, I have to repeat myself. It is what it is. JB, though, I want your opinion on this. You got the double, what do you got, shades on? You got the double headphones on? What's going on? Tripped out today, my guy. Talk to me. And he's got the fantasy football championship trophy.
JB's ready.
JB Smooth, running back, Oregon. All great. Let's get it.
Oh, my God. JB, talk to me.
Let's get it. Look, this isn't a must win. I will have to agree with you on that, Jeff, but this is a game that you have to sit here and set the tone for the division. And honestly, I want to challenge Jared Goff out there a little bit more because I think the most pressure is going to be on him tonight just because we all know Amon-Ra is his go-to. That's his go-to target out there on the field. Spread the ball out a little bit more. Open it up to all these other receivers. Get Jahmyr Gibbs involved. You know getting him the ball out in space is where he thrives. Where you need to thrive for him to be successful in this league. Sam Laporta. I mean, you already seen what he can do last week, getting that touchdown, grabbing it, thinking it was hanging up there for so long, but he still came down with it as well. So open up the playbook, sit out here, spread the ball out to different receivers, and then just make the Packers defense question every single play you are out there. Are they going to run? Are they going to pass? Are they going to Amon-Ra again? Or it could possibly go to Josh Reynolds several different times, which is someone I am putting money on tonight for over in yardage. So,
man, JB, let him cook.
I pictured him to be more of a Crimson Tide back than a Duck.
Yeah, well,
go Ducks.
Look at it.
Why is he just that man's so serious? Oh man, JB would have put 150 on Colorado last week.
He's going for 200.
Yeah, that's
He's
fair.
getting 50 in the receiving game as well. He's going to be making special teams out there too. Smoking dudes as a gunner on the outside.
He was Jahmyr Gibbs before Jahmyr Gibbs. That's what I was told. Look at that. J-Mo Jackhammer, JB spitting facts. JB is bilingual. He's got facts and he's got English. You pick one, right? The man just speaks.
Correct.
Only in facts. John Macaroon says JB Smooth was recruited by Mel Tucker. What was the recruiting pitch?
I mean,
what's going on over there?
Tried to get me over there to MSU. I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do it. I knew there was a lot going on over there, but I need the bag, and he just didn't have it.
You needed to be in Eugene.
That's right. I need to be close to Nike.
Yeah, Don Beat says he does look like a Madden created player. Hoop Hearted says JB stands for Jahmyr Bibbs. Changed my mind. Yeah, JB brought the fantasy trophy. The fantasy trophy's dope, though. I gotta admit.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. I got a couple more at the house too.
Okay, was that not just like a subtle flex?
No, you asked about the fantasy trophy. I was like, I got a couple more at the house as well too. I mean, hey, stacking up wins over here.
Jesus, people sleeping on JB. He's in our league too. What's your record in our Woodward league?
2-1 right now. So
damn,
I lost to you, but
hey.
I respect.
I don't want to hear.
You know who beat Jeff though?
Oh, who was that? Lucas?
No.
Lucas.
Maybe.
Yeah, Lucas beat me. You know what's even hard when he beats me in fantasy and his team is ball knowers. Like that sticks in my craw, dude. Like I lose to him and it's like who'd I lose to? Ball knowers. I'm like, oh my god, dude, this guy.
That Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith stack.
Yeah.
Damn. Justin Jefferson on the side.
No.
Damn.
No. Mike Bell says broken clock is right at least 2 times a day, JB. I don't know if that's a shot at JB.
Damn.
Yeah, that was kind of a shot.
He's like, what the hell? Steve Wild says JB makes Jeff hard. Okay, why are we? What's with the audience today? All right, we're getting a little weird today. I don't know what we got. Dan Wood calling Sam daddy, and we got Steve Wiles. Oh, man. Thanks for getting me hard, JB. Oh my. That's why he said it. Okay. That's why he said it. Okay. That's why he said it. Daniel Klump. Sam Flannel's built like a cartoon character.
I guess. Is that good or bad or what?
Man, the chat is on one
just
today.
a regular looking guy, I think.
Yeah, no.
I think I look all right.
The chat is just on one today, man. I don't know what's going on. Shout out to you guys, man. You crack me up, dude. Oh, I love it. All right, I'll tell you what. Let's go through one player offensively and defensively you expect to just kind of step up tonight. I'll go first. I think offensively for me,
Jordan Love.
For the Lions, I still say Jordan Love.
Jordan Love.
No, you know what I'll say, though? Offensively, who needs to step up? Because we've seen Sam Laporta. We've seen Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think you're going to need another, especially if Demo's out, I think another big game out of Jahmyr, but I'll even go someone a little more low-key. How about Josh Reynolds? Because I think he was limited. He didn't really play at all last week.
He didn't have a target.
He didn't have a target, but I think at that point they knew, like, all right, we're going to beat the Falcons. You can rest. Like, you know, we're having success offensively. Josh Reynolds is another guy. I think you need some of what you saw out of Josh the first 2 games. I think having a dude that can make plays, maybe Khalif could be that, you could argue as well. But I'm going to roll with Josh Reynolds offensively. And then defensively, it's got to be, at least for me, another big game out of Aleem McNeil. You need him again this week for what he brings to the table.
Yes, and I am going to go with Jahmyr Gibbs on offense. And I'm going to do this assuming that David Montgomery is out, because there is absolutely no excuse for the Lions, especially with Devondre Campbell out, who is one of their best defensive players, was an All-Pro a couple of years ago. There is no excuse for the Lions not to run it all over the Packers, because you know what the Packers, and I mentioned this yesterday, do not do well? That is stop the run. And even if Decker's out, even if Montgomery is out, Jahmyr Gibbs proved that in one game as the feature back, he had 17 carries for 80 yards against the Atlanta Falcons run defense, which is better than the Green Bay Packers. I expect Jahmyr Gibbs to be more consistent from quarter 1 to quarter 4, and I expect maybe the best game of his life in terms of even yards, because this Packers rush defense is just so poor.
Who's going to cover him in the open field? Rudy Ford?
I mean, yeah, I didn't even mention that. He could get more
The
featured.
safeties for Green Bay are just terrible as well.
And if he does that and actually is more of a factor in the passing game, then maybe he can shut up a lot of the naysayers, like myself, who's not really as much of a naysayer, but a little bit of a skeptic, but he went a far way in doing that in the Falcons game. And on defense, I know this is going to sound cliche, but it has to be Aiden Hutchinson, because Aiden Hutchinson is turning into a superstar right before our eyes. And what do we always say? And he did this last year at Green Bay in the final game of the season. Big-time players make big-time plays in big games. And this is a huge game for the Detroit Lions. You could argue that in terms of significance, this is as big of a regular season game as the Detroit Lions have had in the Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes era, because they're actually fighting for a division. And Aiden Hutchinson, especially against a depleted offensive line without Bakhtiari and Elton Jenkins, needs to wreak havoc and at least get a sack or two. And at the very, very worst, get a couple of pressures and make Jordan Love feel him a little bit.
Yep.
I'm going for defense. I chose him last week, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Alex Anzalone.
There you go.
He's one of the most scrutinized players on this team, but he flies around the field. The thing that is with Alex Anzalone, he puts himself in position, but he doesn't always close the play. Last week against Atlanta, he did a phenomenal job of that. There was one play where Tyler Algier broke his tackle and Brian Branch. So both of those guys were extremely safe tacklers, and they had one miscue. If Alex Anzalone plays like he did last week with that green dot with the C on his chest, along with Hutch stepping up, but I think Hutch is going to do that either way. If Alex Anzalone plays how he can in both the run game and the pass game, I think that's what it all comes down to. If you have a field general behind this rush defensive line, it makes all the difference. It makes Brian Branch's life easier. It makes Tracy Walker's life easier. It makes the other linebackers, the corners, everybody. It starts there with Alex Anzalone. He steps up. I think that's when you see this Lions defense. That's when they really start turning into an aggressive team and actually making plays. On offense, Sam Laporta, baby.
Ooh.
Sam Laporta. We kind of the same reasons you just said about Jameer. Who the hell is going to man up on Sam Laporta? You're going to put Quay Walker out there? Quay Walker, great at getting to the quarterback. That motherfucker's hips are stiff as a bone.
You're right.
He
really
is not a cover linebacker. Their best cover linebacker is Devondre Campbell. He's out. Their other linebacker, Rashawn Gary, they're going to be sending him. So then in steps one, Mr. Isaiah McDuffie. You ever heard of him? Neither have I. I just looked at the roster, and that's who's the second. That's who's behind Devondre Campbell.
Ooh.
I have no faith in Rudy Ford covering him, and I have no faith in Darnell Savage covering him, because you know why? Not only is Sam Laporta big, but he has speed and he has the ability to break tackles. And Rudy Ford and Darnell Savage, their biggest thing is missing tackles. That's why their run defense is just pathetic, honestly, when you look at who they played. I think Sam Laporta, Alex Anzalone, they step up. Lions win without a doubt.
Look at this. And speaking of Quay Walker, hip stiff as hell, still picked off Justin Fields.
Yeah,
very true. Very true.
Fun fact.
Both can be true.
Both can
Yes.
be true.
No, when you have Justin Fields, the
look-
linebackers that have stiff hips, they might get an
I mean,
interception.
Shaq Barrett got a pick six too.
Yeah,
So
that's-
yeah.
Guys you don't expect.
Yeah.
Let me address this one, Lucas. Brandon Katz. Lucas significantly overrates Laporta. Well, Brandon Katz, I would go check the stats. He's number one among all tight ends in receiving
As a
yards.
rookie.
As a rookie.
Not
Not saying this guy's going to be the GOAT in a pass, Travis Kelce, but come on, Brandon. I don't think he's overrated. The guy's number one in yards.
No.
In front of T.J. Hockenson. Mm-hmm. So, again, those are the stats. I'm not lying here.
in front of George Kittle.
That's factual. No one's lying here. It's available on Google. You can go look.
More yards per game than Travis Kelce.
It's crazy. I know, it really is crazy. JB, before we go to break here, give me your player offensively and defensively. Who needs to step up tonight? Who do you think?
Well, I know I mentioned Josh Reynolds, of course, as always, but actually I'm going to take this one completely left and not choose a player at all, because I could go with Aiden Hutchinson, Aleem McNeil, Marvin Jones, who's been missing as of lately ever since the KC game, but I'm going to go completely left on this one. I need Dan Campbell to be responsible.
Ooh, that's a good one.
In this one. I truly need him to be responsible. We saw steps last week of him taking and just, kicking the field goal, taking advantage of this right now as he can, just getting points on the board. Right now you're going up against a division rival, and I cannot relay this message too much more to the Lions. You need to step up and beat them and set the tone for the rest of the season. If you go in there and you beat the Packers, that shows any team out there that anything is possible this season. So step up, be responsible, take the points when you can, and punt the ball. Don't try to be a hero out there. That is all.
Give me your defensive player.
Defensive player?
Who are you looking to show up tonight?
It's got to be Aleem McNeil.
There you go.
I need them to step up. to at least stop the run right here and force Jordan Love to throw the ball. You force him to throw the ball, it's going to be dangerous. It's going to be trouble for him all night.
Well, speaking of Lee McNeil, man, it's a big boy. I'll tell you about another big boy, though. Talking burgers and sandwiches. I'm talking about that big boy. Burgers and chicken sandwiches are taking over at Big Boy's Burger Time. You can try the best cheeseburgers or their new pretzel bacon cheeseburger. If you want chicken, they got it. If you want dessert, they got it. You got to try the Reese's Chocolate Peanut Butter Thunder Cake or their funnel cake fries. All that and more at Big Boy.
Come hang with the Woodward Sports Crew all throughout football season on Saturdays and Sundays. Join our college football and Detroit Lions live watch parties.
Inside the 5, caught, end zone, touchdown Detroit Lions!
With money on the line. Featuring different special guests and surprises. Start times will vary depending on the game. Only on our Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
Burgers and chicken sandwiches are taking over at Big Boy. Try our new pretzel bacon cheeseburger. Turn up the heat with Bob's Hot Chicken Sandwich. Upgrade those regular fries with our chili cheese fries or loaded baked potato fries. Hit your sweet tooth with funnel cake fries or Reese's Chocolate Peanut Butter Thunder Cake. Load up on all your favorites today at Big Boy.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Talk about Outdoor Equipment Company, official equipment provider of Woodward Sports. Michigan-grown, family-owned. Bad boy mowers, tractors, STYL handhelds, and even weed whippers. Liberty trailers, generators, snow X-plows, and salters. Outdoor Equipment Co. has it all. Buy it, rent it, 0% financing, delivery to your doorstep, and you can visit their website at outdoorequipco.com.
We're back. It's the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. If you could do us a favor, hit the like button on the stream. We're at 150. Let's try to get to 200 likes by the end of the show. It'd be much appreciated. It really would. Time to now go a little more outside of the Lions. I want to do something fun right now. Contenders or pretenders? I'm going to go through some teams, and I want you guys to we'll go around the room. You say pretenders or contenders. Okay? Mm-hmm. We'll start with the first one. And this couple AFC teams, couple NFC teams, okay? And if you could, Lucas, you could put a poll up as we're discussing each team, okay? We're going to start with the Miami Dolphins, number one. Contenders, and this is for the Super Bowl, not could win. You think will win or has a high chance of getting to the Super Bowl and potentially winning the Super Bowl. So I don't want to hear that, well, I could see a route in which they make it. No, put your balls on the table. Are they pretenders or contenders, the Miami Dolphins, Sam Flannel?
As much as I hate to say it, they are contenders because Tua Tagovailoa is playing the best football of his life. Their running game has been dominating. Mike McDaniel is right now the front runner for Coach of the Year. And even though they have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and that helps out a lot, the Mike McDaniel system is doing absolute wonders. And they look like an offensive juggernaut. And I'll tell you what, defensively, you know who's actually stepping up and having a hell of a year, and I have to give you a lot of credit for this one. Javon Holland, their safety, he is dominating. And so is Jalen Phillips. Absolutely, the Dolphins are contenders. How could you say they're not at this point?
Yeah, I agree. I think they're contenders. Obviously, given Tua stays healthy, that's the big one. But again, for an offense that's averaging 40 a game, and they have like the 4 fastest players in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, what am I supposed to say there? Mike McDaniel calling them plays. The only thing I'm concerned about is not having Jalen Hurts for the playoff, or excuse me, Jalen Ramsey for the playoffs. But I like their defense.
They'll have them.
I like the Dolphins. I do. I think they can even win that division. I'm still going to ride with the Bills, and we'll get to that later because they face off this weekend.
Be a good game.
Good game, by the way. But they are contenders to me, and I'll leave it at that. Lucas, what do you think?
I'm not going to waste much time here. I had them winning the AFC East. Shocker that it's going to look that way, but they're definitely contenders. This team's way too talented on both sides, and they have great coaching, so contenders.
JB?
Oh, the Dolphins are definitely contenders. Like, all aspects of their game are top-notch.
Yeah.
Like, I know Jalen Waddle will be back, so who knows what that adds to their offense as well, too. But Tua's playing his best season that he's had in a long time, so I got to give credit where credit's due. 70 points? Like, damn. That's unreal.
And I think that offense, how they operate, again, given Tua's health, I think it's an offense that'll be pretty damn reliable in the playoffs because they can run the ball, a lot of motion, playmakers everywhere. Like, I wouldn't want to face them in the playoffs for my first game. Like, hell no. I'll move on here. Next team, we're going to get to Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
Pretenders or contenders, Sam Flannel?
Both things can be true. The Cleveland Browns will win the AFC North, and I'm sticking to that, even with Nick Chubb out. But because Nick Chubb is out, the Cleveland Browns, when it comes to the Super Bowl, are pretenders. I know Deshaun Watson just had his best game as a Brown last week. I know that they have a good offensive line, and a lesser running back like Jerome Ford could put up numbers by that offensive line. And their running game, their defense, led by Myles Garrett, Grant Delpit, and Denzel Ward, is leading the NFL in points allowed per game so far. But I think when you get into the playoffs, they are going to really miss Nick Chubb, who is one of the best running backs in the game. So I think they're a team that wins the division and maybe loses in the opening round or wins a playoff game, but they are pretenders with regards to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm with you. The loss of Nick Chubb that's someone that you're going to need in the playoffs, and he is out for the year. I don't trust Deshaun yet, although he's having an interesting year. Like you're starting to see some flashes, but then he'll have games like he had, and you're like, oh shit, that's the Deshaun that wasn't the last year in Houston, the one that we saw 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Deshaun, there's still a lot of room for him to kind of grow and get back to that form.
The dude threw a ball 8 yards behind himself last week.
It's not pretty right now for Deshaun, and I don't think he's at the point right now where he can say, you know what, I'll carry this team offensively. It's interesting. I'll say they're pretenders as of right now, and I think the loss of Nick Chubb is pretty significant for them.
Yeah, they're definitely pretenders. I love their defense. I still think even with Nick Chubb, they're an offensive weapon away. I think Amari Cooper is nice, but just in the AFC, you need another weapon if you're going to have shaky, inconsistent quarterback play, so they're definitely still pretenders for me. Solid team, though.
JB?
They are pretenders to me as well. I'm sorry, but as you all have stated, Nick Chubb will be missed on this team heavily when it comes to playoff time for them if they, actually do somehow make it that way. But Deshaun Watson just has not looked himself lately, so they're pretenders.
Well, last team in the AFC here, and we'll go with the Baltimore Ravens. Oh. A team that a lot of people picked as their sleeper to make the Super Bowl. I've seen that around national media. I never bought into it just because, again, J.K. Dobbins right on cue is hurt again. And I do love John Harbaugh. I think he's one of the better coaches in the NFL. I do. I like him a lot. But the problem is Lamar Jackson in the postseason, I haven't seen Lamar be the guy he was typically in the regular season. Even that MVP year, he didn't play well in the playoffs. So there's a lot of questions I think Lamar needs to answer, but I don't know if they have enough to make the Super Bowl. Maybe they could win a playoff game, but I think that's all I'm giving the Ravens. So I'll say pretenders.
I am going to go with pretenders as well. The Baltimore Ravens, I think, year in and year out are a little bit overrated. And one of the reasons why is because not only is playoff Lamar Jackson bad, he has never once had a good playoff moment. He's only had one playoff win, and he didn't even play well in that game. And Lamar Jackson, and this is not meant to be disrespectful, he is living so far off of one MVP 4 years ago. People still think he's in the upper echelon of elite quarterbacks, and by the numbers and by his health. No, he's not. Stop
Lamar Jackson's
It's
elite.
always an excuse with him. Oh, the weapons. Oh, the system. He has never been good in the playoffs.
No,
and he's been hurt too. And he's never he's thrown for 3,000 yards in a season once. However many times you want to say it.
To say that man is not elite quarterback is just slanderous.
He's not
an elite quarterback.
He's elite.
Okay, I do like the Ravens defense. Roquan Smith is having a hell of a year, but still, the Baltimore Ravens will go into the playoffs this year as a wild card team and go out in round one because playoff Lamar Jackson sucks. He is what you all think playoff Aaron Rodgers is. What you think playoff Aaron Rodgers is actually what playoff Lamar Jackson is. A morbid, horrible, terrible, no good, very bad playoff quarterback.
Well, I would have loved to see Aaron Rodgers' career without Greg Jennings, Devontae Adams, Jordy Nelson, Donald Driver. Go keep going down the line. I only have to throw to Mark Andrews, but this team is a contender. The Ravens are contenders this year. I understand you might not like Lamar Jackson, but if you're looking at how this team is built, you're talking about late in the season, this team knows how to win in any type of condition, whether it's hot, cold, whatever. They can go on the road and win. This is a team that can control the time of possession on anybody. That defense is looking great, and I understand that you're like, oh, they just lost to the Colts. I understand that. But Lamar Jackson was 22 of 31 for 200 yards. And the receivers that he have right now are by far the best that he had. Zay Flowers is just going to keep getting better and better every week. I think this team as a cohesive unit is going to get better. And I would not be surprised that in playoff time, this team is in the AFC divisional round and potentially being in the AFC championship. If they get a good path, this team is definitely built to go up against any other team in the AFC. I believe that.
Okay.
I like the Ravens, man.
Especially with the Bengals kind of dipping. You got an argument.
They have good coaching, good roster, good management. If you have that, you have a chance to be a contender. They have all three of that, and they have a lot of weapons.
I disagree, but me and you agree on Lamar, though. I love Lamar. I've always defended Lamar, but like if I'm being real here, that AFC is tough.
But think about it. Bengals are out of the equation.
Yep.
Most likely. Do you like the Bills still more than the Ravens? As of right now, it's okay too. I'm just going through the teams. You're going to take the Chiefs over them?
Yep.
Yes.
Dolphins?
Yes.
Who's next?
Bills.
We already said the Bills.
There's three teams.
3 teams.
Browns.
I'm not, bro.
And they might win their division.
Without Nick Chubb?
Yeah, JK, but I'm with you, though. That game's kind of a toss-up.
They've had Gus Edwards forever. The Gus bus. They love Gus Edwards in Baltimore.
They do. JB, the Ravens, man, talk to me. Pretenders or contenders?
I really want to say contenders, but I got to go with pretenders on this one. No disrespect, Lucas, and Lamar Jackson is my fantasy football quarterback in one of my leagues, so I'm rooting for him on that aspect, but I still think that there's a lot on his plate that he is just not able to delegate when it comes to all his receivers that he has out there. As you said, Zay Flowers is getting better day by day, but Odell is now MIA. Mark Andrews, you need him to step up as well, too. So... And the run game, I'm not sold on it as well either. He's turning into basically Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, just taking everything to the house. So I got to go with pretenders on this one.
Yeah, again, this team, they did beat the Bengals, but a lot of things happen. I mean, the Arizona Cardinals beat the Cowboys. Crap happens in the NFL. That's why it's such a great league. It's a week to week, baby. Let's move on though. We'll go to the NFC now. Dallas Cowboys. I'll start first. No, I'm just kidding. Pretenders. As long as Dak Prescott's your quarterback, you're a pretender. And Jerry Jones is your owner.
Yeah, I'm going to go with pretender as well when it comes to making the Super Bowl because they're not better than the Eagles. They're not better than the 49ers. And hell, they might not even be better than the Lions. But I do think the Cowboy disrespect, especially from Lions fans, gets to be a little out of pocket sometimes. But they
deserve it.
They are pretenders.
Thank you, Sam.
Yes.
No,
with Dak Prescott as quarterback.
Exactly. With Dak Prescott as quarterback, I understand Tony Pollard's having a nice season so far. I do not see him staying healthy. They relied way too much on CeeDee Lamb and Tony Pollard in itself. They're too one-dimensional when it comes to that, and I just don't think it's going to be able to hold up when you play like Philadelphia consistently, and you got to play the Niners and the Lions, who I guarantee are going to try to have their number this year. I just don't see them as contenders.
All right, we'll go to now the team we've been waiting for, the Detroit Lions. It's going to break some hearts. And by the way, this isn't like a disrespectful thing. I just want to say do you think they're contenders? As in, if they make the Super Bowl this year, I wouldn't be shocked. Like, they're a legit contender, Sam Flannel. I'm going to make you start, so you take all the heat. Go.
All right, the Detroit Lions, as of right now, when it comes to the Super Bowl, they're 1 year away. They are pretenders. They don't have the roster talent and the experience as the San Francisco 49ers or Philadelphia Eagles, who I think have separated themselves clearly, as we all expected, as the class of the NFC. The Lions are contenders to win the division and win one playoff game, but I think they are ultimately at the second tier of the NFC. So, as much as I hate to say it, and I think I'll disagree with this next year, as of right now, the 2023 Detroit Lions are pretenders when it comes to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I said this too. Booner hated me for this one. My expectations. Like, I think a playoff win is all I need. I'm good. You win a playoff game, you're moving in the right direction, guys. Like last year, you didn't even make the playoffs. If you expect to make the Super Bowl this year, that's a hell of a turnaround. That's like, Bengals did it, but Bengals didn't have Joe Burrow. So they came back and they made the Super Bowl. I think the Lions are a year away. I think next year, you can be able to be like, you know what? They patched up some more holes. Given everybody stays healthy, this team can win the Super Bowl. I'm not going to say they can win the Super Bowl, but I think they could be a dangerous team in the postseason, maybe win a playoff game or two. But I think the absolute ceiling, if you're going to say the ceiling's an NFC Championship game, they're pretenders. Because I'm talking Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. So, Lucas, what about you?
I'm so quick to say pretender just because I agree that they're your way, but then again, show that they can win anywhere. You know what I mean? Like they went into Lambeau last year. They went into Arrowhead this year. I'm going to say pretenders, but I'd be really happy to be proven wrong. I think
me
just
too.
like
Me too.
this could be a team that if they get it together, they could easily do it. But I'm just going to say for right now, because I think it'd be weird to be like they're contenders next year and then say that they're contenders this year just because they're not going to be the same team. So I'm just going to say pretenders for now, but hopefully to be proven wrong.
JB, voice of reason, Detroit Lions.
I'm gonna just hold this up one more time, just so
Heisman Trophy
that the Lions can know this will come soon. I'm just saying,
very soon.
Very soon. It probably won't be this year, but I can always have my fingers crossed because I do have bets on it. But
you do.
Next year. There you go. It's ours, and that's just being reasonable here about everything that we have going. We have a lot going for us, very good in the right direction, but 2 playoff wins. Maybe.
And Shot says making the playoffs are contenders for a Super Bowl. It's not difficult to understand. Well, technically, every team I just named are contenders then. But that's not the question. I want to make it interesting. Will they make the Super Bowl? You think they could make it or win it? That's my definition for this segment, because we could just be like contender for every team. That's not no fun. You got to put your balls on the table, Shot. Pause. But you have to. And I just think the Lions are a year away, and that's okay. Like, the Lions are on the right path with this regime. They are. And Brad Holmes taking charge of inquiring players. This team's only going to get better. It's just factual. Let's go to break. When we come back here, breaking news. Tom Pelissero. Here's an L for you. We'll talk about that in a couple of minutes here. But first, we got to hear from our friends over at Guardian Alarm.
The best defense around. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. 24/7 professional monitoring. Call us anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work and people who have been proven to care. Give them a call at 1-800-STAY-OUT. That's 1-800-STAY-OUT. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts.
Woo!
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
For over 6 years, Fairway Packing Company has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. Experience the Fairway difference for yourselves today. Visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks, or, as always, check them out online at fairwaypacking.com.
Tom Pelissero. Actually, very reputable reporter, so this doesn't, ruin his credibility, but he took an L today. And I don't know. You put the tweet up, and the people can.
It's getting loaded.
Okay, the people can kind of react to it. And Tom, again, I get you're doing your job, but some of the Detroit Lions media, and I forgot who specifically, kind of corrected this. There it is. Correction: Lions running back David Montgomery and left tackle Taylor Decker are playing tonight against the Packers. Cornerback Emmanuel Mosley is not playing. There's a miscommunication. I will have to eat this one. I apologize for the error. Oh yeah, it's a miscommunication. All right, Tom. Love you, but that's great news. This is like a good mistake because it happened. You'd rather him say they're out and then say they're playing than say they're playing and then say they're not playing. So I'll take it. I'll take it. That's Tom live. But regardless, good news. You got Decker. You got your left tackle back. So Panay can slide to the right. No more Dan Skipper. No more Matt Nelson. Those guys are solid, or Colby Sorsdahl. you got basically your starting offensive line, the strength of your football team. Now, no Vitae, but they got Graham Glasgow. He's been playing solid. And David Montgomery's playing.
But remember this. Last year, what was the Lions' offensive line pretty much the whole year? Frank Ragnow, Penei Sewell, Taylor Decker, Jonah Jackson, and Vitae was out.
Yeah, it was Evan
Vitae was
Brown.
out. So it's basically the exact same as last year. An offensive line which we all say is elite and was the sort of engine of an offense that was top 5 in scoring. And if Taylor Decker is there and David Montgomery is there, I might have to make a little bit of an amendment to Jahmyr Gibbs as the guy that needs to step up the most. But irregardless, I'll tell you what, if you have your offensive line almost at full strength, then maybe you can play your running backs exactly how they were designed to be played, with maybe more of a 50-50 split because Jahmyr Gibbs showed that he can carry the workload in short spurts at least. Hey, this to me is a huge advantage for the Lions to have them back, especially given the fact that the Packers, a couple of their questionable players and a couple of their questionable best players, Aaron Jones and Christian Watson, are also playing. So in terms of injuries, it looks like it's kind of a wash, and that's how you want it.
Yep, like Donald Trump says, it's huge for the Detroit Lions to have these two guys back. Huge, because, again, did I bet on anytime touchdown score for Jahmyr Gibbs? Yeah, I did. David Montgomery playing, does it mess that up a little bit? Maybe.
Yes.
But I still expect Jahmyr to get a score. He has not scored yet. And not that that is the end-all, be-all, but come on, your first-round running back, you want to get him in the end zone, whether it's a receiving touchdown or a rushing touchdown. I expect, though, this offensive line to hold their own, man. I mean, again, you talk about Kenny Clark. You talk about Preston Smith. You talk about Rashawn Gary. You need this offensive line at full strength. It's great news. It's great news, Lucas.
No, I agree. I mean, I can't wait to the fact that Demon's back. The fact that Demon's back is what makes me, like, and I'm not underselling Taylor Decker by any means, but I think, like, either way, they've been able to set the tone on the offensive line. I think they would have been able to have held their own, if that makes sense. You have Frank Ragnow, Jonah Jackson, Penei Sewell. That's enough for me. I'm not saying I'm comfortable because we could have Taylor Decker, but you get David Montgomery back. You guys talk about setting the tone. Setting the tone. That's what David Montgomery does. And the fact that he's going to be there, whew, he's already played the Packers twice a year. He knows what they're all about.
Fun fact, David Montgomery's never won in Lambeau.
Changes tonight.
He's never won in Lambeau.
The narrative changes tonight.
So shout out to him, man. Like he's been over there in the slums, man. Like in Chicago, losing a bunch of games. Shout out to him. Hopefully he can get his first win in Lambeau.
Like, not even trying to be funny, now you can have somebody that's a viable pass protector out there. I know he got blown up week 1 by Nick Bolton, but that's just what Nick Bolton does to people. Now you have somebody when Rashawn Gary's coming off the edge, Preston Smith. You don't have to have Jahmyr Gibbs throwing his whole body, risking his life out there. You can have Demo, you can bring in Craig Reynolds, but now they'll be able to keep Jared Goff more protected, which is the whole key to this game, in my opinion, too.
And you know what's funny, too? If you ever looked at that the chart they put out there, I forgot who it was. It might have been Next Gen Stats, but they showed the success rate of Jahmyr Gibbs, like his every run play and where he was running. They ran to the right side of the offensive line like a handful of times last game. Everything went to the left. Now you got Taylor Decker, Penei slide to the right. At least you can kind of use both sides. Like last week, it was Penei, Jonah, and Frank. You're like, run the damn ball to the left. Don't even go to the right. You got Sorsdahl and Graham Glasgow. Shout out to those guys, but not ideal to run in the direction of those two. Now you got Penei back to the right. So, hey, make this run game a little more predictable, and it's better. Enjoy Detroit says not just Lambeau, Jeff. He's never beaten the Packers in his career. The Bears effect. Yeah, that is correction. He has never beaten the Packers, period. Especially at Lambeau, but he's right. Has never beaten the Packers. So hopefully that changes tonight. It's nice to see him out there on the field. We'll go to break here. We'll get into our final predictions, our score predictions here at 9:40. We're taking over what's trending with Lucas. We'll throw in some game predictions, and then we'll get to mailbag. But first, I got to hear about from our friends over at Dispo.
Absolutely. Experience the true meaning of exceptional cannabis products with the best dispensary around, Dispo. With over 12 locations, including their new location that is now open in Whitmore Lake, Dispo is never far away. Dispo Romeo is now open until midnight every day except Sunday. The only cannabis mall of its kind. Dispo Dispensary, disposhops.com, your local cannabis plug.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune in to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
When buying or selling real estate, flexibility and control over the sales process is key. Sellers, how would you like the freedom of canceling your listing agreement at any time for any reason with no penalties? That is exactly what Mark White and Associates offers. It's called the minute-by-minute listing agreement by Mark White and Associates. Try Mark White's risk-free minute-to-minute listing agreement today. Looking to buy or sell real estate? Visit markwhitesales.com or give him a call at 248-290-8242. markwhitesales.com, where flexibility meets success.
It's time. Let's get our predictions out there. Lions and Packers at Lambeau. Thursday night football. We'll go through all of our game predictions, our final scores, how we see it playing out, so on and so forth. Shout out to Travis Scott in the YouTube chat. We're in the presence of a great
Travis Scott?
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The actual Travis Scott.
Astroworld.
Astroworld. Taking time out of his busy day to tune into the morning show. Let's talk about our predictions here. And you know what's crazy, too? And with all the guys coming back, injuries are going to happen in the NFL. You're either hurt or injured in the NFL. That's how it works. Everyone's playing hurt. But if you're injured, it's another scenario. So it's nice to have Decker and Demont back. And I'll say this, too, about Jordan Love. As much as I can talk about maybe some things I like about him. You know what's a crazy stat, too? Speaking of stats, Sam, I'm pulling some tricks out of your book today. Jordan Love, his completion percentage, you know who has a similar completion percentage throughout his 3-year career? Ooh. Zach Wilson.
Well, that's not a
He has a 54.9% completion percentage.
Oh, it's interesting.
So, very interesting. Now, he already has more touchdown passes than Zach Wilson's had this year and last year. So that's also true. Both things can be true here. I see this game falling in favor of the Detroit Lions. I think the Detroit Lions are going to find a way to win this football game. I do. I think they're just, the momentum's building. The confidence level of traveling to Green Bay last year with this young roster and beating them, I think that's important. I think that means something. These guys have played out in Lambeau. Amon-Ra St. Brown. You have a lot of guys that show up on prime time, and that's a good thing. Aiden Hutchinson, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be one of those guys. Laporta, like guys that just don't flinch. Brian Branch has played on the biggest stage at Alabama. Like you got a lot of good. Jared Goff played in the Super Bowl, played in won multiple playoff games. A lot of just experience on this football team, playing it under the bright lights. So I think the Lions get the job done tonight. I think similar to what they did against the Falcons, they not stop the run game, but just slow it down like you did against the Falcons. You force Jordan Love to win, force Jordan Love to beat you. And it falls in favor of the Detroit Lions. I got them winning. I'll go 24-16, Detroit Lions. Sam Flannel, what do you think?
All right. I am going to go with a very similar score. I go Lions 24 and the Packers 17. I'm going to give them one more point. And here's how I see it playing out. I see it playing out somewhat similar to last week's game against the Falcons, but a couple of key differences. I think that the Lions will be able to run the ball more effectively against the Packers than they did against the Falcons consistently, especially with David Montgomery back and Taylor Decker back, and along with Jahmyr Gibbs. I honestly think that they could put like a $137 or something like that on the Packers defense as a whole, and that certainly would be more than well enough to win in my estimation. I think that they win this game, but also Jared Goff may have his worst statistical game of the season. I could see the Lions being a more run dominant offense. I could see Jared Goff giving you like 17 for 26, $180 and a touchdown or something like that.
Yeah.
But on the defensive end, I expect them to absolutely choke out the Packers running game. I don't think the Packers will be able to get a thing going on the ground, but I think Jordan Love will make a few more plays for the Packers than Desmond Ridder did for the Falcons, and that's why I have the Packers having 17 instead of 6. But the Lions absolutely win this game. I think they're going to control the time of possession, and I think they're going to run the ball and stop the run. So give me the Packers in a 7-point, huge divisional win to take complete control of the NFC North division.
Lucas, what do you think?
I'm going Lions 27, Packers 17. Look, for the Lions offensively, there's a ton of mismatch that they can take advantage of. And if I see it, Ben Johnson has seen it a whole year ago, right? So Ben Johnson is going to scheme up a nice game plan, in my opinion. I think it's going to be elite. Jahmyr Gibbs, I think he's going to be opened up in both, especially in the receiving game, especially that now that David Montgomery's back. They have even more ample opportunity to put David Montgomery back there to protect Goff, put Jahmyr Gibbs in the slot. I think we'll see a lot more of that tonight, especially when you're playing a divisional opponent. Those are the games where you kind of hide all these gadget plays. You want to save them for big divisional games on primetime. That's when you save them for. So I think Ben Johnson's going to have a great play calling game. I think that's going to help Jared Goff, obviously. I think the running game is going to be efficient. I think they could easily clear 120 yards. If Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier, how many yards do you remember, Flannel, did they put up against the Packers?
I think together they put up like 45.
So no, I'm saying the Falcons running backs against the Packers defense.
Against the Packers defense, as a team, they rushed for, I think, 211.
Over 200. Yeah. So I think it's well within the Lions' capabilities with this offensive line to go for 150. You do that. Jordan Love's now throwing the ball, and I think the Lions defense is going to get after him. I think this is a convincing win. I think the only thing that Lions fans might not like is maybe in the red zone, they don't put up touchdowns and they take field goals, but at the end of the day, that's what you're asking Dan Campbell to do. So I think this is a convincing Lions win. I think it could be close at first, but I just think overall the Lions just have a lot of mismatches they can take advantage of.
No doubt. JB, talk to me. What do you think? How do you see it playing out?
I figure like all our predictions for the past couple weeks have been a little bit high on the Lions a little bit, and I'm going to take this one just a little bit lower. The Lions will still come out on top on this one, but I'm going with a lower score. Give me 17-10.
Ooh.
So it's a little bit tighter of a score, and I will give some respect and some credit to Jordan Love a little bit as well too. But as Lucas said, if Ben Johnson is seeing all the holes in this Packers defense, he's seen it a while and he's schemed up enough to get the Lions past to win on this game right here. So give me the Lions 17-10, and also they avoid injuries further from anyone else. How about that?
Good stuff, JB. Let me get to some of the people here. They're dropping their final scores in the chat. Dusty, 28-17 Lions. You got Don Beats, Lions 27, Packers 14. Dr. Dirty D, 28-17 Lions. Mr. Ray, Lions 24, Packers 20. Yeah, a lot of similar scores. Jordan says Lions winning 28-14. Again, Shane D, 35-21 Lions. There you go, a little optimism there. Denver Blair, 30-17 Lions. Ranting says Lions 31-17. Dan says only one daddy, Jeff. Sorry. Well, Dan, that is okay. You can have flannel. And Andrew says 24-16 Lions. And again, Jay Cruz and 27-23 Lions. And then there's Andy, 34-10 Lions. A lot of guys, and maybe girls too. I don't want to misjudge there, but they got the Lions winning. Good for you guys. We agree. We're all in lockstep. I don't think the Packers, I think it'll be a close game. And again, Packers, I think, will be in the football game. I don't think it'll be a blowout or a 2-score victory. But it is divisional. Those games get close. It's at Lambeau. It's going to be packed. But the Lions are the better football team. They have more experience at quarterback. Like, there's things that favor the Detroit Lions. I expect a victory today.
Isn't that weird? Like, the last decade, it's always been the Lions are the young, experienced team going into Lambeau. That's a better, more veteran team led by a veteran quarterback and veteran playmakers. And now it's the complete other way around. The Packers are now the young team with inexperience. The Detroit Lions, even last year they were a young team. They're now the more veteran team going into this with veteran playmakers, and they still have youth. It's just great to see as a Lions fan. Fuck the Packers.
Fuck the Packers. Who farted? 33-13 Lions. Justin Reed, shout out to you. 30-19 Lions.
Tony D, 48-7 Lions.
Yeah.
Okay.
He talk about put your balls on the table. Tony D, 48-7 Lions. The guy says 27-13 domination for the Lions. And there you go. Everybody kind of putting their final scores in here as well. A lot of Lions, big victories, some closer, but I think everyone exactly is on the same page here. Coach Walk, 41-13 Lions. Coach Walk, man, he thinks it'll be a blowout too. And Wilson says 70-20 Lions.
Key thing to note, too, I mean, unless I'm wrong, this is Jordan Love's first primetime game as well. So this is the first time he'll be under the big lights.
Well, yeah, because he got a taste of it last year when he played the Eagles, right? He got thrown in there when they were down.
Yeah, and how good did he look?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's fair.
He threw that 7-yard slant to Christian Watson. He looked phenomenal, and then he took it to the house. My God, shut up.
Yeah,
the way he put that ball right in stride.
Yeah, the way that he led Christian Watson down the sideline on that slant route that was 70 yards after the catch. Phenomenal.
And he told that man before what to run and everything. So Jordan Love, he calls plays. You know, he just does everything.
I am going to throw you the ball, and you are going to run for a touchdown. Leadership.
Jordan Love.
Yeah, leadership. Type of guy you want your daughter to date. I'll just keep bringing that up.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, first one in, last one out. Hard worker. Bring a lunch pail to work kind of guy. Let's go to break. Let's go to break here. When we come back, we'll get to mailbag. Everybody get your questions ready, whether it's about the Lions or anything in particular. We'll try to answer as many as we can. But first, we got to hear about our friends from Lady Jane's.
Absolutely. Well, if you want to look sharp to watch this game tonight, you should go to Lady Jane's and get your haircut. I certainly have, and they always have me looking this good every single time. Come to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience. Register to win a trip of your dreams and all expenses paid suite for the 2024 NCAA Tourney. That's right, no expense spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests, for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Come hang with the Woodward Sports crew all throughout football season on Saturdays and Sundays to join our college football and Detroit Lions live watch parties.
Inside the 5, caught, end zone, touchdown Detroit Lions!
With money on the line, featuring different special guests and surprises. Start times will vary depending on the game. Only on our Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
Let me tell you about our friends over at 5 Iron Golf, because, listen, you don't want to hear it from me because I stink, but let me just give you some advice here. 5 Iron Golf is the place to be for all people who love golf. You play, practice, and party at 5 Iron Golf, downtown's newest sports bar. A couple of people from Woodward will be down there tonight. Brady will be checking out those 13 TrackMan simulators, certified instructors, and most importantly, a full bar and restaurant. Whether you're a serious golfer like D-Mac or in there for a good time like Flannel Sam, 5 Iron Golf is a spot for you. That's 5irongolf.com to tee up good times. We're back. It's the Morning Woodward Show, and it's time for mailbag. Let's check to some of these questions here. We'll try to answer as many as we can. Corey Berry, mailbag. Should the Lions just go after Jordan Love, or should they try and keep him in the pocket?
Keep him in the pocket.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't over pursue. I feel like that's kind of been a problem. Not consistently, but at times you'll see that with Aiden and some of the guys on the defensive line over pursuing. Mm-hmm. You got to keep him in the pocket. Make him beat you. Mm-hmm. I'm with you, Lucas.
Because especially when he escapes out of the pockets, like Green Bay's receivers, they're nice. Don't get me wrong. Like Christian Watson's coming back. I don't think he's gonna have a full workload, but the chance that he's on the field next to Jaden Reed and Romeo Doubs, even Luke Musgrave isn't bad by any means, but they got weapons out there. So if Jordan Love can extend the play and let his playmakers make plays, I don't like that. Do not like that.
Full slate says mailbag, over under. Love those 1 pick. Can we go like 1.5?
Yeah, do 1.5.
I'll say under. I think he throws a pick. I don't know about 2-3 picks.
I think he could easily throw 2. I'm gonna go over. I'm not gonna like lay the house on it, but I think if there's a chance where he throws 2 picks, it's tonight.
Yeah, no Kirby, no C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Has me a little worried, but I think he could throw 1 to the Lions.
I think he throws 1. I would go under, and I think that 1 could be the difference in the game. So I mean, I got the Lions winning. So
I was there at that season-ending game, the end of the season game, where Jordan got a little bit of taste out there playing the Lions, and Tracy picked them off.
Yeah, and Tracy dropped 2 last week.
He did drop 2.
You know, he's motivated to get 1.
No question.
Brian Branch is due for 1. Another one.
Saga says mailbag. Who has you the most confident about tonight? And honestly, I'm going to say Jared Goff. I think having a quarterback like that in these type of games, it gives me confidence, especially when you're going up against, not directly, but on the opposing sideline, a quarterback that's only started a handful of games. I think having Jared Goff's experience and his poise gives me more confidence.
Yeah, no, you know what? I'm actually going to piggyback off of that one, because having Jared Goff in a game like this, even though a lot of people would say I'm a Goff hater, does give me some comfort. I don't think he's going to do anything to lose this game. I don't think he's going to have this great game or anything like that. I think he could have a game similar to what he had last year at Lambeau Field and do just enough. Just play within the offense, let the running game dominate, and we already know he's not going to do anything stupid, at least we think.
Isn't that funny? I'm confident in Goff, but then I was told I hate him. I don't know. It's weird.
How about this one, though?
It's weird.
What about one Mr. Khalif Raymond? Khalif Raymond.
You're not about to make a case that Khalif makes you confident.
I'm not saying that I'm not confident in Goff, but the guy that's making me honestly feel a lot better about this is Khalif Raymond, because when he needs to step up, he always does. He always does. He's the best, and I'm not by statistics. Shout out Flannel Sam. From last year, he is the best man-to-man wide receiver, the best wide receiver creating separation against man-to-man coverage. The fact that you could have him and potentially Josh Reynolds stepping up, not to mention how Khalif is always setting the offense up in great position on special teams, and he's a deep threat. You saw last week he almost had a deep shot. I think he has one this week. Khalif Raymond, for this whole offense, I understand he's not the most talented player, but he is definitely a huge blanket and kind of like a safety valve when shit goes wrong.
Fair. Sear James, mailbag. Can you rename the late night show to Meet the Broners? Well, that's something you're gonna have to pose to the boys there. I don't know about that one. I don't know if we can put that on T-shirts. That sounds a little weird there. But you're right. Meet the Broners. Okay, fair. Dante, and I didn't put this in the prep for a reason because I don't think it's happening. But Q&A. Do you think the Lions will go after Devontae Adams in a trade because there are rumors that Adams wants out of Las Vegas? That second part I believe is true. I think he wants out of Las Vegas. He's on the other side of 30. He's still really good, but he just got a fat contract extension.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's realistic that the Lions trade for him. Would I like Devontae on this team? Yes, I would. Of course I would. I just don't think it's realistic. I don't think the Lions will acquire a wide receiver right now that has a $15 million cap hit. I don't think so. Who's locked up for years and he's on the other side of 30. Like, that doesn't sound to me like something Brad would do, but again, if it happened, would I be mad? No, I would not.
I would agree with your sentiment entirely. He's either the first or the second best receiver in the NFL right now. That is undisputed. And he's still having a hell of a year.
He is.
He's probably going to put up 1,600 receiving yards, and the Raiders are going to go 5-12.
He's off to the best start of his career ever.
Yep. I mean, it's Devontae freaking Adams who's gonna walk into Canton, Ohio with a gold jacket someday. Would I love for the Lions to have him in a vacuum? Absolutely. But I haven't even really honestly entertained the thought as of right now yet. So give me a little bit more time if these rumors continue to heat up a little bit.
We'll end it on this one. Sorry, Jesse. I know you got a question about Urban, but that one's a little. We got to dig into that one. This one's quick. We got a minute left, so come back tomorrow, Jesse, and ask the same one. Dat Boy Roy 2.0 mailbag. Who gets the first win? Broncos, Bears, Vikings? That's a good one. Who gets their first win? Who are they facing?
I think the Vikings and Bears are playing each other.
Yeah.
Well,
or no, Broncos are playing Chicago.
Yeah, yes. Broncos and Bears are playing each other.
And then who's the Vikings playing?
The Panthers.
Vikings, yeah. So the Vikings.
I'll go Broncos. I don't think they lose to the Bears. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But the Vikings taking on the Panthers, like good defense. I don't know.
Adam Thielen's return. Did you see Adam Thielen last week? Did you see Adam Thielen last week?
I saw that.
I'm just saying.
I'll go Broncos over Chicago because fuck the Bears. And I don't think there's. Even though what I saw last week was disgusting, I'm going to lean Broncos here. And I'm not even confident with that one.
No, I'm actually very, very confident that it's going to be the Broncos because the Bears are the worst team in the NFL, and it's not even close. They will win 2 or 3 games, and I'm somebody who is higher on them than most. But the way I've seen them play early on in the season, as I'm upset that my prediction was so off, but I'm happy as a Lions fan that the Bears are zero threat. They're terrible. The Broncos will win that game by double digits.
Then there you go. You guys agree?
Yeah.
Broncos?
Yeah, it's the Broncos.
All right. And that'll do it for today's show. Appreciate you guys, man, for hanging with us on game day. It does not get overlooked. Like, seriously, you guys make the show. You make it possible. We appreciate you. Again, the chat makes me laugh, man, so much. Like, we got the best audience.
Fire, really.
I know, I say this. I know a lot of the guys carry over. They watch other shows. That's fine. I appreciate you for supporting the network. But this show, these guys that tune in every morning, You guys are everything. So appreciate you for that. Jeff Iafrate, Sam Flannel, JB, Lucas Klotz, Uncle T, Matt Broder for joining us.
It's game day.
It's game day. Check back with us later around 6:30 pregame show. I'll be on there. A lot of special guests. You're going to want to be there. Until tomorrow, we're recapping the game. It'll be a ton of fun. We'll see you guys.